Bryan Callen had his first taste of turmeric coffee. Do you know there's an R in turmeric?
Yes.
A lot of people don't.
I've been eating turmeric since, the 70s, back when I was living in India.
I would have bet my life there was no R until about 4 months ago.
Turmeric?
Yeah, I didn't think there was an R.
Turmeric.
I thought it was turmeric.
Yeah.
I thought it was T-U-M-E-R-I-C or whatever.
No, the Indians have been using it forever.
Oh, yeah, they have. But I'm just saying, I didn't know how to spell it.
That's why as a kid I had no inflammation in my body.
You just say turmeric all the time? Did your
right.
pee smell weird?
I was the turmeric kid.
What else makes your pee smell weird besides asparagus?
I think sometimes coffee. Look, I'm 52. My body is betraying me, which is why I'm having my Laird Hamilton super coffee right now.
That's good stuff, right? Look at him. His body's not betraying him.
Yeah, but what happens?
Still jacked at 55.
What happens is when your body is, when I feel like I'm in wet cement when I wake up. Now for the first time in my life, my feet, I got to warm them up before I get out of bed, all that bullshit. Now old Brian's going to a doc. I'm telling you this right now on Joe Rogan. I'm going to get jacked. If I look a little veinier and my skin looks a little more flushed, don't ask questions. Just know that I got a good doctor.
You got to get on the TRT, Brian.
I can't wait.
Should have gone a long time ago. Why didn't you listen to me?
I don't know. I just because I want to think that my body, my testosterone is a little higher than everybody else's. It was an ego thing, but now you know what? We're all mortal.
Yes.
Like little things.
Well, I have wear and tear for sure from all the years of beating up my body, like joints and stuff like that. Like I just had to get some stem cells shot into my knee. I've had some shot into my shoulder, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like energy and like vitality and health, I feel fucking great.
Yes. Here's what I do. Here's my, I can see it. You're wiggly.
I do. I'm 52. I feel fucking great. I'm in the sauna almost every day. I have a sauna here.
Really?
Got a sauna at my house.
You and I are going to sauna after this Russian style.
Let's do it.
All right.
Dude, it's so good for you, man. It means something. Something's happening. For sure.
Yeah.
After I get out of there, I'm just like a little looser. It's a percentage. I don't know what percentage it is. Is it 10%? Is it more? But there's a feeling that you get after you do a good sauna session where everything is just like feels
Yeah, but a lot of this
good.
also has to do with arriving at a point in your life where you're happy with what you've done, the decisions you've made. So I sleep, for me, 8 hours of sleep, 7.5 hours, and then as long as I don't eat for 12 hours. So if I finished eating at 8, and I'll start eating at 8 again or 10. And that for me, 12 to 14 hours, I guess it's intermittent fasting. Those two things, I haven't had a cold in, 15 months.
You're so trendy.
I know.
Pavel told me, Pavel Tatsulin, who's amazing.
Kettlebell
love that guy.
Monster.
Fucking such an honor to have him in here. I'm a big fan of that guy. He told me he eats once a day.
Really?
Big giant meal at dinner. That's it.
At dinner?
Yep.
So how does he stay? I don't.
He's just hard, bro, like nails.
Yeah, but I think I get fucking skinny.
Shakes your hand like this. Oh. Like it looks you in the eye and shakes your hand. I'm like, bro, are we fighting?
Yeah.
What's happening here? This is a fucking heavy duty handshake,
just
son.
a resting alpha.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
He's an animal. And his methods are so like contrary to how you would normally think about like weightlifting in particular, like going to failure all the time. But yet also makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, do it more often, have longer breaks. Like it's about strength. Like strength is the most important thing. Strength. And his company's called Strength First for that reason.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, you want to do, like, if you can do something for 10 repetitions, you want to do about 5, and then you want to wait between 5 and 10 minutes before you do it again. Yeah. And he's right.
Yeah.
It makes sense. If you just most of us do not have that kind of fucking time. And for sure, you can get in tremendous shape with a CrossFit workout or a high intensity where you're doing box jumps.
I prefer that.
You can certainly look, there's some people out there that are in phenomenal shape working out like that.
Yeah.
But what makes sense about what he's saying is just like the amount of time required for your body to recover. If you give yourself your body's ability to recover in between sets, you let everything sort of come back to baseline before you jack it up again with like another set.
Right.
Like your body has more time to recover and you can perform more work. And so your body adapts better.
Right.
The idea is that you're overwhelming your body when you're going to failure. You're just beating the shit out of it.
You're also getting injured. It'd be interesting to see how many of his the guys are not get injured, and because it's not fair, but my impression of every CrossFit athlete that I know is always like this. Watch, now I'm getting back into it. I just got to pull something's
but
always
that's jujitsu too, man.
Yes, same thing.
And I'm a big proponent of that as well. Look,
but as you get older, I can't get injured. I'm doing. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a thespian. I'm on a show called School on ABC, guys.
And you jump around a lot. You're very physical.
I'm very fit.
By the way, like a dancer.
By the way, do you want to talk about physical? On the show, we had Bill Goldberg on, and Bill.
I love that dude.
The best. I love him. Now, he walks around at a very trim. He's my 50. Age. Oh, 260. When he was wrestling, he was 280. What you don't realize is he played professional football for, I think it was 4 or 7 years. So he's the real deal and just a real athlete. So
also a very nice guy.
The best. I love him.
He hosted a show called what was it called? Garage Mahal. Yeah. And they redid my garage and turned it into like a whole training center, like with a cage. They put a cage and hung heavy bags. And
it's awesome.
Put pictures of like old UFC fights on the wall. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. He's a guy who brings it 100%, like every time, whether it's acting. And by the way, he comes in and I'm like, your neck looks so thick. He goes, it's the first thing I work out. First thing. He's one of those guys like Chuck Liddell, when you're close to him, he breathes differently. Like, when you went with a race car, like he's like, what's going on? He goes,
Shelby GT 500.
Yeah. I'm like, how much did you look at him? I'm like, how much did you sleep? He's like, I don't sleep. I've been and anyway, so we had this thing where I was playing a quarterback, and
he had the fucking size of that guy.
Oh, it's ridiculous. That's what he looks like right now. That's what he looks like right now. And
he's
insisted
so big.
He had a stunt double. The stunt double didn't do anything. He did all the stunts himself to the point where he had to rush at me in a touch football game. I'm the quarterback, and he had to hit 2 dudes.
Bro, look at that picture.
No, I mean
smoked a little weed before this podcast. I'm not going to lie to people.
Yeah.
But that picture's kind of freaking me out.
He's got a great body.
He's so big. He's so massive. But here's the thing about him, man. It's really interesting. That the profession of professional wrestling is unbelievably brutal on your body.
Yes.
And all those guys, I don't think, get respected enough for how hard that job is to do. They're doing it hundreds of nights,
they
200 plus nights a year, and they're throwing each other around and they get smashed. But what I was going to say is he has come out of it better than most.
Yes.
For sure.
Because he's never stopped working out and he never stopped stretching. So we'll be on set. That guy's stretching. He says length is strength. He's always moving his body. It's like Kurt Angle told me on the set of Warrior. He told me that he got injured way more. He's a gold medalist in the Olympics as a wrestler. Got injured way more doing professional wrestling. And
for sure.
And he told and Bill told me the same thing. But he had to come at me and he said, look, I'm gonna knock these 2 guys down, and I'm coming for your head. I'm gonna dive and come at your head. So you have to duck.
This is unschooled?
Yes.
Oh,
so I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, so you have to duck.
But I had I'd never been that close to a former pro football player. These are stuntmen, strong guys, but it's a different thing. He would just come off that line and his speed, and he would hit these 2 dudes with he'd go like that. And the thud, it sounded like maybe when 2 elephants hit, like just, that
yeah.
And they would go, they went flying backwards, horizontal, and then he comes and dives and would come for my head. And we kept having to do the takeover because I'm a coward. And I would, I look like a potato bug, where you, and I do. Anyway.
I feel like Goldberg is a guy who could do the same kind of movies that The Rock does.
I do too.
I feel like he could be a gigantic movie star.
I think he's a good actor. That's the other thing. I think he's really good on the show. Look at him.
He's a gigantic dude. I think he could be a big movie star. I think he could do any kind of those action movies. I know he's done a bunch.
Yep.
But I think he could be a huge mega star. He's got all the personality. He's a really nice guy.
100%.
Smart.
Funny.
Yeah, he's smart. He's with it.
Yep.
Like you talk to the guy, he's right there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And very humble for a fucking ridiculously huge giant person.
But such a weird athlete. His hands, his fingers. Like I was like, how do you dial a cell phone? Your fingers are too fucking thick. You're hitting 2 numbers.
Jimmy Pedro, he was working for Fuji at the time, and they installed. Oh no, he was working for Zebra. Excuse me, at the time. And he works for Fuji now. Then Jimmy Pedro was a gold medalist in the Olympics for judo, and Jimmy Pedro set everything up. And he put the they put these mats down on like a raised platform, so it had like a little bounce to it. Like if you fell, you got slammed or something like that. And so they tested it out. And so by testing it out, Jimmy Pedro, who probably weighs 175 maybe.
Let me see.
You know, lean, thin, very strong guy, throwing around Goldberg.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, I mean, Goldberg was letting him. He was executing throws
and Goldberg
on him.
will throw himself.
But you see Pedro's technique is such that it's so good that he can do this.
Oh, shit.
Like, look how easy. That's my garage, son. So watch how he does this. I mean, this is Jimmy Pedro way after he's done competing. He teaches now, but look at that. Boom, son. Look at that technique.
Jesus Christ.
Look at those hip tosses. Fucking perfect. Just perfect technique. Look how much bigger Goldberg is than him. But he can throw him around. And now he's showing Goldberg how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Goldberg knows all this shit already.
You ever see him kick and punch?
Yeah, man. I have. I've seen him work out. He's fucking legit as fuck.
Very much so.
That's an uneducated statement. He's fucking
legit as fuck. Oh,
no,
look
I
at
said
this
it's fucking legit as fuck. I added an extra fuck and it ruined the whole sentence.
It's all about harmony.
Yeah, but he's like I said, he's with it. Mm-hmm. It's there. Mm-hmm. He's also like remarkably uninjured for someone who did what he did for so long. Like
he knows a lot about exercise physiology.
I know he's got some bumps. I know he's got some shit going on, but he still looks like him. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys are fucked up, man, where the back injuries have forced them to be like very tight and rigid and they can't move so good anymore. Yeah, that's where Diamond Dallas Page has done an amazing job, is like getting these guys into yoga and getting these guys specifically into his style of yoga, which is like a lot of dynamic tension stuff too. Right. He's helped so many of those guys get over like serious back injuries.
He has?
Yes, because Dallas's back was fucked up, man. I mean, all those years of getting body slammed, all those years of picking up giant guys, all that shit. His back was fucked up, and he still has a fucked up back. But he does yoga every day, and his back is so strong that it keeps everything in place. So all those yoga techniques, what's really done better than anything for these wrestlers is stabilize their back, like through like a dynamic range, right? You know, you're doing standing bow, you're doing, you're leaning forward and doing like that T thing when you stand on one leg, all that kind of shit is tremendous for your spine and your cord. And so that protects like a lot of guys with back injuries.
That's him right there?
Yes.
Look at that.
Bro, he's in his 60s. He did that without even warming up out here in the garage.
I could never do that.
He just picks up his foot and stands up like that. Bam. I think Dallas is like 66 or something like that. He's in tremendous shape. He's a great guy too. Like
That's crazy.
Super infectious personality. Like he's so friendly and happy, and he does so much for other people that are sick and injured. Yeah. He's got a bunch of videos of these guys, like that guy right there, who was so fucked up that he was walking with crutches. He could barely get along. And by the end of it, Dallas had him running. He had him doing yoga. Look at there. He's standing on his head. Like the guy lost a shitload of weight.
You gotta keeping flexible is more important than anything else, I think.
Dallas helps these guys. He even had he had a separate house, right, where he was keeping like Jake the Snake and a couple of these guys in. He had a separate house for them, like he was like helping rehabilitate them and bring them back to health.
The other thing about getting older is you get sore faster. I had to have it's fucking such a stupid thing. I had to have a wrestling match with my jeans. Don't ask. I had to get it. I couldn't get them off in the show.
In the show. Why didn't you get stretchy jeans?
No, but it was part of the comedy.
Oh, that you couldn't move good in your jeans?
Yeah, and
so they give you extra.
I don't want to give away, guys. I don't want to give away the episode of School. You know what I'm saying? Just you're gonna have to wait.
Can you see your hog?
You can see
your hog in your pants?
I tie it to my leg. I wear it in a holster, as you know, because he's unruly, and he's always wanting to get in the feed bucket. If you know what I mean.
That wasn't part of the joke, though. Wasn't your hog?
No, but I had to do that like 50 takes, and I was sore the next day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was sore the next day.
Did you have mats?
From comedy. I was sore from physical comedy yesterday.
That's some serious physical comedy, and that is a point that I've heard before, and I don't know if this is true, but many people have told me, and this is like this long-standing thing, that Chevy Chase is kind of known as a grumpy guy.
Yeah.
They said that Chevy Chase did so many pratfalls that he's in pain all the time.
That's interesting.
Just stop and think about all the times you saw Chevy Chase fall down in movies and in TV shows. And one of the things that happens obviously to older athletes that play football or combat sports or boxing, is that getting beat up like that, getting slammed around like that. They get bad backs, they get headaches, they get a little bit of PTSD.
You just don't feel good. You're always in pain. Yeah.
Especially the athletes get the PTSD. But what you're seeing with him, it very well could be that guy hurt his body real bad doing pratfalls. Buster Keaton, who was like the very first ever stuntman, who did crazy shit, man. If you ever watched like some old Buster Keaton films, the stunts that guy did back when they couldn't fake anything, like nuts. But it was always getting beat up. His body was fucked up, man. Yeah, let's hear Chevy Chase falling down. Bro, I got news for you. This is all legit. And he fell a lot, man, constantly. He was like almost like a Tom Green type character, but also but also a brilliant actor and comedian.
Yep.
So he fell all the fucking time. So I'm guessing, as a person who's fallen a bunch of times, that guy's probably in pain a lot. Like all the time. Like people always say Chevy Chase is so grumpy.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just fucking in pain all the time.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't feel good.
Oh, dude, you can't feel. There's no way, dude. That's just a few.
I know.
He fell on Saturday Night Live all the time. Didn't he fall in Fletch? Remember that cop movie?
National Lampoon's, I think he fell through the ceiling.
Everything.
Like, I think a lot of things.
Bro, he fell through everything.
So for me,
some of it might have been stuntman.
I was boxing so much, and what I would do is I would just get in the ring and I would just start hitting the mitts kind of light, and by light I mean, I don't know, 30%, and then in about a minute I'm going full because I'm warmed up. I feel great.
Yeah.
And a guy who is a trainer walked by. He used to be a pro football player, and now he trains a lot of pro athletes, and he knows his shit. And he walked by, and he goes, he looks at me, and he goes, Chris Camacho. Chris looked at me and goes, he goes, not warming up again, huh? Guy in his 50s? Cool, just going at it, huh? And he just looked at me and kind of went, yeah. That's all he said. He knew. And sure enough, I'm still, now I haven't been able to box in, I don't know, 3 months.
Dude.
Because I fucked myself up. Because I didn't warm up.
You're talking to a moron who had stem cells shot in his knee the other day because I tore my meniscus in a kicking contest with Joe Schilling when I had my pants on.
I saw it.
I'm a moron. No
You're kicking
warm
a
up
wall.
at all.
I was like, there's no
full blast.
Of course.
No, it gives a little bit.
Sure.
Because it's a padded thing that's a block that sits on the board that measures the amount of power.
Whatever. I was watching you kick it going, that's not good. That's not good. That wall's not given. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done it.
It's not. I'll tell you one thing though. I'm not confident enough to side kick it, like turning back kick it, like really like do like the hardest kick that I could do into it. I don't want. It doesn't give enough.
Right.
Like a spinning back kick or a turning side kick. The amount of torque that's involved when you have that knee up and you're turning the corner and then you shove that fucking thing through.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the amount of torque that's involved. If that thing doesn't move, that's going to all be in your knee.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing that, so I won't do that. No. But I'll kick it roundhouse kick. Roundhouse kick, you can kick a fucking bag that's not even going to give it all. Like they have those Fairtex bags that are like 300 pounds. Mm-hmm. You ever seen those big giant fat ones? You could dig into that motherfucker and your leg's okay. Your leg kind of gives too. Right. There's like a little bit of flex to a roundhouse kick, but a straight kick, it's like so much of it is on the joint of the knee. So much of it, like a side kick in particular. So much of it when you extend, like there's a lot of pressure on that knee and a lot of pressure on the foot too. If you hit it wrong, like if you hit it with the ball of the foot instead of the heel, oh my God, you could break your ankle.
But I feel like guys like Henry Cejudo, those guys that come out of the Olympic training centers, like the national coach for the USA gymnastics team. He was like, my athletes don't get injured. I mean, for the most part, he said, because the way we build them structurally and the boringest shit exercises we have our athletes do before they start kind of putting that kind of pressure on their joints and stuff is pedantic. It's piecemeal. But I always wonder, like I'll see someone like Cejudo who is a fucking obviously a maniac with the way he trains, but there's a science that when you live at the Olympic Training Center, there's a science with all those guys. They're working out. There's no meathead shit.
Oh, no question.
They're working out very specifically.
He had those Neuroforce guys in here. That's the name of the company, right? Neuroforce that help train him. They have all these like really like high tech, cutting edge training methods.
Yeah.
And but he did get injured.
Oh, he did?
He fucked his shoulder up in his last fight. He's actually had surgery
in a
since
fight.
then.
Yeah, because that's not natural.
The T.J. Dillashaw fight, which happened, was a very quick.
Yeah.
Oh no, Marlon Moraes. That's right. It was a Marlon Moraes fight.
Okay.
It was post T.J. Dillashaw. That Marlon Moraes fight was fucking incredible. The fact that guy was able to weather that storm of that first round, and look, Marlon Moraes in that first round looked like an assassin. Mm-hmm. He looked like one of the best fighters ever. Mm-hmm. And then Cejudo, and he is, but Cejudo just changed everything in the second round. He got in his face, he put it to him, he pressured him, and Marlon was he felt too big when he was cutting the weight. Like he came in too heavy, and it was too much of a drain on him. And Cejudo just overwhelmed him.
How would Aldo do against Cejudo? I've heard from other MMA fighters that they'd like to see that matchup.
You really would never know until they fought. You'd never know. But I like Aldo at 135 pounds. He looks so good against Moraes. It's interesting though, like the UFC, it seems like is saying that Aldo could get a title shot even though he lost the decision to Moraes. So I haven't talked to anybody. I don't know what their position is on that decision. I didn't think the decision was right. I felt like Aldo controlled so much more of the fight.
Yeah.
I don't like I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 101. I don't like the way these fights are scored. I don't think we should be using this really blunt tool for fine work.
Right.
I think there's a lot that goes on in a fight, and we should probably have a conference where martial arts experts and, whether it's from different disciplines, wrestling, kickboxing, whatever, everybody get together and just let's try to come up with a better solution. Someone should be able to come up with a better scoring system. It doesn't have to be 1 to 10. This 1 to 10 is so arbitrary.
Did you see Aldo landing more shots?
Yes.
You did.
I felt like he was pressuring way more.
Yes, he was.
He felt like he was hitting him harder, particularly after the first round. The first round, Moraes has one of the very best switch kicks in the game, man. His left high switch kick, he fucks everybody up with that, man.
And Aldo just blocks it, pop,
Well, he got hit with it.
Yeah.
Like the first shot that Moraes threw was that fucking switch kick, man. His left switch kick is a thing of beauty. It's so fast, but it's also so loose. Mm-hmm. He throws it like a whip, man. Mm-hmm. It surprises you. It surprises me. And I've seen him do it to Jimmy Rivera. I've seen him do it to, who else did he do it to? He's done it to a bunch of guys.
Just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. Who the fuck else did he catch with that left switch kick? I can't. Aljamain Sterling. That's right. He caught him with it too. Dude, he knocked Aljamain out cold.
Jesus.
Check this out. See if you can find. Watch this. Watch this shit. So Moraes' switch kick is like, if you wanted to model yourself after switch kick, it would be his to the head and Barboza's to the body. They're very different. They're very different switch kicks.
Yeah.
Because his is like faster. It's weird, man. It's like he throws it and you don't see it coming. Yeah, throw it right there. Let's see it. I want to see the actual one that he landed on Aldo. See that? Wow. That was perfect right there. But go to the one that he did on Aldo if you can find that. The switch kick he landed on Aldo early in the first round. He does it so, it's like a whip. It's like, it's so loose. It seems like he just does it effortlessly. Barboza's, though, to the body and to the legs. Like,
I've been cage-side for that against Paul
Felder. It's so crazy.
Holy shit.
Barboza's switch kick is so crazy. You just go, what? Is there frames missing from that video?
Horrifying.
It's like there's frames missing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So who edited it? Well, the guy, I think the 35er, the guy who just fought our boy Uriah Faber.
Oh
Uriah looked great too. 40 years old, looking phenomenal. But Jesus,
is a monster.
Oh yeah.
He's a monster. He's so strong.
It's a stacked division, man.
He's strong, man. He's one of those dudes that looks normal. Yeah. But I think he's way stronger than he looks.
Yeah.
There's guys that exist like that.
Yes.
And a lot of them are
chimp strength.
A lot of them are Russian.
That's right. A lot of them are Russian.
There's something about some of those Russian dudes. You grab them and you're like, hey, what are you made out of?
And Russian, by the way, you can also say most of the great wrestlers and stuff are from places like Azerbaijan, Dagestan, the Turkmen people, where fighting is a way of life.
Moraes hits hard. Okay,
thing.
watch how he does this. Watch how loose this is. Oh! Come on, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, but Aldo looks great.
It's so sweet.
Oh, shit.
See how it whips?
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, man, he might be the best in the world with that left high switch.
See, Aldo still had his hand up there. So I would,
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Aldo's fine. But he did rock him. He definitely caught him.
Yeah.
And I don't care who the fuck you are. That right there is going to
Ouch.
hurt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. See, it didn't really block. It just glanced off the top of his head. Dude, Aldo looks amazing at 135. He looks amazing.
Yeah, he
I think
does.
he could be a world champion at 135. No bullshit.
I can't believe he can suck that away. And by the way,
He's
I
only
have
33.
I was going to say, and I have no
32.
problem with him fighting for the title. You know why? Because for 9 years he was untouchable.
Yeah.
9 years.
He's either 32 or 33. He is not old.
No.
He's in the
33.
he's in his athletic prime.
Yeah.
Dude.
A lot of miles on him, though.
Oh yeah, for
know.
sure. You see a lot of scar tissue on him, and
Yeah.
but still, he's got a zest for fighting.
Right.
He fought really hard this
Yes.
past fight.
Yes, he did.
I mean, whether or not you'd agree with the decision or not, it's a conversation, really. I mean, I'm not right. I have my own opinion. I felt like Aldo did enough to win. I think there was a moment in the first round where you could say Moraes took control early, landed some good shots, and then he did get the takedown later in the fight in the first round.
that
the
was
first round is like a
significant.
tricky one. The first round's a tricky one. Like I could see you giving that to
It's still a
Moraes.
close fight. It doesn't matter. I mean, I was fine with either
Yes.
one. I wanted Aldo because I love Aldo, but
I just
Moraes
don't buy the way they're scoring things. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you're going to get a 10-9 and then another 10-9 is a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have a 10-9 where a guy beats the shit out of a guy. And you could have a 10-9 where who knows who won the round. You could have a 10-9 where almost nothing happens, or you have a 10-9 that's crazy.
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Boxing is definitely more clear. Did you like the
Boxing
Ruiz?
has two weapons.
Yeah,
Two weapons.
that's true.
Two weapons.
No takedowns.
No takedowns.
leg
No
kicks,
submission
no head
attempts.
kicks.
What's better, a takedown or punches? What's better, a jab or a body kick? What's
Right.
better? What's better?
I don't know.
We got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You can't just have guys lose decisions, and there's decisions being made by people who shouldn't even be in this conversation.
Well,
as far as like what's
I would
more and
score
or
it-
less valuable in terms of like technique.
I would score it like this. I think so. If you're a boxer, landing a jab is always easier than landing a right hand against somebody who's equally as good as you are. Okay, so landing a right hand's a motherfucker. So for me, I would always count. So I think that a push kick with your front foot is not the same as a switch kick that blasts somebody in their fucking head or their
Right.
ribs.
Sure.
I would count those kinds of. I don't know how you would categorize it, but maybe like the equivalent of what a right hand is, which is somebody trying to actually close the deal, knock you out, versus set you up with a jab. Setting you up with a jab, setting you up with a front kick, setting you up those things is different than blasting somebody with a double leg, blasting somebody with a back foot roundhouse kick or wheel kick.
Exactly. There's so many weapons.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I don't know how you do that though.
Yeah.
How would you? Because that's a strike regardless, and sometimes that strike doesn't. It doesn't do anything to you.
Well, you can have a guy who's like super durable, right? And you catch him with a couple of really good shots, but then he takes you down and lands a couple of good elbows. Who won the exchange?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe if the end of the round is the guy's on top, I have no evidence that you're going to get up. You might get up eventually, but so far you're on the ground and he's holding you down, he's punching you. That means a lot.
Then again, somebody can take your back, right? And they're controlling
means
you,
a
but
lot.
you're doing great defense.
Yeah, but it means a lot that the guy took your back. We got to. I mean, we have to look at it in terms of like your percentage of being successful once you get to a position increases.
Right.
With the complexity of the position, the control that you get in that position. So if you get a person in half guard, that is not as good as you having someone's back with the body triangle on and one arm around the neck and one arm controlling the hand.
Right.
Even if the guy is not tapped, that guy is in significant danger.
Well, wrestling,
Right.
you get a point for an escape. You get a point. When you take somebody down, you get a point for that. But when you take their back, that's 2 points.
Right, that's fine.
Because
But
that's
you're
college.
close. But you're close to finishing his life.
Yeah.
When you have his back.
Yeah.
This point shit. I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
When you get a guy's back, you got a body triangle in, you got an arm around the neck, and you're controlling the other arm somehow or another. You're really close to taking his life.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right.
So with this point stuff, that's great. Like, what's more important to escape is when a guy has your fucking back and he has an arm under your chin and you're just fighting hands,
Yeah.
you don't want to be there, man.
No.
And if he has enough squeeze and enough energy to just like Damian Maia can make people tap across their face. He can. He gets you across your face and he cranks your fucking neck. He knows how to manipulate necks. So it's not just like him squeezing and hoping that it works. He's going to get his shoulder into it and he's going to get all his torque into your neck. He doesn't have to go into your neck. You ever see his fight with Rick Story?
Yeah.
He's choking him and blood is squirting out of Story's
Jesus
nose as he's
Christ.
squeezing his
Yeah.
neck.
I mean, it's
Bob,
a whole. That's Damian Maya.
Bro.
Do you know who I train with now? Who's nice enough to teach me? It's Hegan Machado.
I love Hegan.
I love him. By the way, where's his school? I want to give him a shout out. It's his
It's in
school's
the
on
beach somewhere, right?
No, it's on Wilshire, 8126 Wilshire Boulevard.
Bro,
It's
he just
fucking
gave
awesome.
Ashton Kutcher a brown belt.
I know he did.
Ashton's
supposed
is
to be
legit.
good.
He must be legit.
I got Shab so riled up on the podcast because I said to Shab goes, it just bothered me that Hegan said that Ashton could beat Conor McGregor in jiu-jitsu. And I knew I'd get to him. And I went, well, he's 6'4", he's got very long arms. And he goes, he would destroy Ashton Kutcher in under a minute. I got him so riled. I was like, I don't know, bro. I just kept going, I don't know. He lost his mind.
It's not impossible for someone who's really dedicated to jiu-jitsu to get to a point where they could tap an MMA fighter. Because most elite MMA fighters have many, many skills and many, many different things that they're working on constantly. If you're just concentrating on jiu-jitsu, particularly with the leg lock guys, yeah, they're going to be better at it. Just like if you just go to box, if someone invites you, like Terrence Crawford invites someone to go to his camp and box. In fact, TJ Dillashaw said that about Lomachenko, that he boxed with Lomachenko and it felt like he was just being kind to him.
Of course.
He felt like he was once the guy opened up, he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Just
that's his sport now.
But Lomachenko was nice to him and didn't fuck him up.
Yeah.
Speaking of warming up, there's a great video of him warming up. And I watched it, I was like, oh, that's how a pro does it.
Lomachenko?
Yeah. And he's like one arm, switch stance, switch stance, one arm. Everything is slow and methodical. He's not doing anything stupid. He has a whole system that he does to warm his body up before he starts moving really fast and throwing punches.
Yeah, he's 26
guy.
or whatever.
Yeah, here it is right here. But you watch this and you go, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do when you're a fucking professional.
Yeah, methodical.
I've had a chance to see it live once with Manny Pacquiao.
Really?
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao was doing this thing at Wild Card Boxing, and I got to watch him train a little bit. And I got to watch him warm up with these bands. He has these little bands, and he does these warm-up things. He warms everything up. I mean, his body is a race car, He's not doing that dumb shit that you and I would do. Just go in there and see how much can you bench?
You mean just getting in there and going?
Yeah, Ari and Bert and Tom were in the back fucking around with my weights, and none of them could do 225. And so I went back there. I was like, "Can you do 225?" And I was drunk. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I could do 225."
God damn it!
So I did 225 for 12.
I would have stopped you immediately.
No warm up. 51 years old.
Terrible
so
idea.
Stupid.
It's pretty damn good though.
I'm glad I didn't hurt anything.
That's exactly how you hurt
I could have
something.
easily gone pop.
Of course.
And the weights come down, boom, pin me to the chest, and I have to roll out from under
But
them.
you got competitive.
And then my arm swells up with blood because it's. You ever see a guy when they blow their bicep or their chest, their pec out?
Yes.
Oh, it's so nasty.
I feel like you and I should do a dance competition and show Bert and
Tom up.
But Tom and Bert are both athletic dudes. They're actually both athletic guys.
Here's my prediction. Yeah, Tom can dance his ass off.
Yeah.
He can legit dance his ass
Bert
off.
can. You ever see him swing a golf club? He's an athletic dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude too.
Yeah,
They're both
big guys.
Here's my prediction.
Yeah.
They keep ramping it up.
Really?
I don't think we're done. I think you're about to see some epic shit.
Really?
I think they're going to keep ramping it up. Yeah.
I feel like I want in. I mean, I know I'm being derivative and I'm copying, but I want to fucking dance.
Why don't you have your own?
I think they both already have scripts written for their retorts, and I don't know who's going to go first.
Well, it's got to be Bert. Bert's got to be next because Tom just murdered him. You can't double down. This shit was ruthless.
Give me a.
I mean, come on, man. This shit was ruthless. And what happened? Did you spill over yourself?
Give me that.
Like a little child?
Give me that. Yeah.
What happened to you?
I spilled, man.
spilled
Got excited and I
You spilled on your hug.
I spilled my fucking turmeric on myself.
This video, you've seen this video, right? Come on.
Oh, it's the best.
Bro, it's amazing.
I know it
But
is.
here's it's amazing.
He's hilarious.
It's actually good.
I know.
Like this part, watch this.
And
I
he
mean,
can
come on, look at
dance.
him moving around. Dude, he can dance great.
I know.
And that's why he was offended by Bert's. He's like, this dude's pretending he knows how to dance just because he takes his pants off. I'll show you.
You got more mad when people gave him credit for it, too. They're like, oh, look at Bert dancing.
He did get mad. Yeah, I didn't understand that. I was a little confused. I felt like he was laying back, like if we were going to do a hip-hop dance contest. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy at the bar that pretends he can't play pool. I mean, I played a couple of times. Oh, by the way, selling those Machine shirts, Machine.
Amazing.
You can buy those at yourmomshouse.com.
I'm gonna buy one of those. I say to Rogan, I put him on a thread. This, I think it was before they were doing the dance thing. I remember I said to you, I had Shab, Eddie, you and me, and I said, let's do a fucking dance off. And then yeah. And then Rogan comes back with, hey, if we do a dance off, you're gonna want to win. And I don't know if I have the time to dedicate to that shit. And I was like, you got serious right away. You get competitive.
I'm a moron.
Yeah. And you would. And you would do whatever you had to do to win.
I have kept my most ridiculous moron tendencies at bay
Yes.
for most of my adult life. But when we did Sober October last year and I was making the fire alarm go off from my sweat, like I was telling them, I'm like, you're gonna die. I'm like, if you're gonna try to do what I'm willing to do, you're gonna die. You don't understand. I'll work out 8-10 hours a day.
Yeah, you'll kill yourself.
I go, we're gonna die.
It was like, I remember when you were a young man, you said to me, you're like, I think I might fight Wesley Snipes. And I was like, what? And you were, because you were like pulsing. You looked like a fucking like one of those guys who gets caught in nuclear waste. Your veins and everything, you're just like, man. And you were breathing like Chuck Liddell. And I go, hey, what's up,
that's
man?
That's not really the case.
I'm just training. I'm training all the time.
I was training all the time. I was training twice a day.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But I thought it was really going to happen. Like, we had lawyers
Wesley Snipes
involved.
is an athlete.
He owed a lot of money to the IRS. That's what it was.
Oh.
He got in a real bad situation apparently where someone was advising him
Yep.
that he didn't have to pay taxes. You know, man,
Straw man. Yeah,
one of those. You ever check the Constitution, man?
You're your own island, your own country. That horse shit.
That shit doesn't work, man.
My friend did that. This is what he did. He said he declared himself a sovereign state, and then he decided he was going to run illegal substances across state lines. He gets caught and he goes, I'm my own sovereign state. I can do whatever I want. Cop goes, that's awesome. You're going to jail now. They put him in court. He had a whole defense. I'm a sovereign state. I refuse to give you my name. They were like, the judge was like, very cool. You're going to jail now for 8 months. We'll see you later. Gang, gang. And now he had a record. How'd that work out for you? Not well at all.
Some people read the Constitution and they somehow or another decide that they're experts.
Yeah.
But what is it going? There's a lot of that going on these days where people like have this idea that fuck all these legal scholars.
Yeah.
Like, I see the loophole.
Yeah.
And I'm going to point this out in front of the judge and it will be undeniable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, pay your taxes.
Right.
Who's gonna fix the streets?
Because they listen to, but usually people just want to be part of a larger thing, right?
Yes.
So actually, most people are saying what was given to them, and it feels good emotionally.
Yes.
And one of the things as you get older that's really important to do is to always be willing not only to change your mind and admit that you could be hopelessly wrong. You could be completely wrong, but also to always be able to justify with reason and with measured argument your most cherished beliefs. Okay? Because so much of who we are is what we believe, right?
Yeah.
So much of who we are is just where I stand politically, all those things that I've worked hard to kind of come up with a comprehensive political and philosophical, mooring to stand on. Well, if I then relax and I listen and accept what's given to me without, putting it through the grinder and really sitting down and testing it, then I'm guilty of being philosophically complacent and basically
It's just you're a slave to your ego, right? You don't want to admit that you're wrong about things.
Yes.
But I think you can't be married to ideas.
No.
Who you are is how you go through this life.
Yes.
And it's how you go through this life now. This is what's very important for people. I try to talk about this as much as possible. You can't get stuck in your past. Because like mistakes that you made when you were a child can haunt you deep into adulthood.
Yes.
Because you decide that you're the person who got bullied after 7th grade and you're a loser and everybody hates you. And those feelings, you can cling on to those fuckers and they'll weigh you down. You can cling on to them and you can take them into your later life. And I know people that are like, man, they're in their 60s. There was this maybe you told me this. But did you tell me the story about this dude who was like an older guy that was afraid to walk down a certain road because this other older guy who used to bully him in high school lived there?
No.
He didn't tell me this. Somebody told me this, and this guy was in his 60s, and he was scared to go down this road because this guy lived there who used to bully him in high school, and the guy still fucked with him. Still fucked with him.
No way.
Bro, there's some people that get stuck like that, man.
You have to get closer
Both
to
of
your
those
fear.
guys.
That's why I think for a lot of guys, walking into an MMA gym, it's terrifying, but it's okay. Everything start with, one tiny step. And I like doing anything that makes me feel uncomfortable and takes me off my pins. And,
It's huge.
and because it opens up new pathways of understanding somehow, or it certainly forces me to. So what I do now with people who I disagree with philosophically, like say I'm talking to somebody who's a hardcore socialist or something like that. It's okay, but what I try to do is I just try to listen to them really. I try to kind of zero in instead of like immediately throwing my hands up.
Did you see what Brittany Cummings said the other day?
Brittany Cummings or
Whitney Cummings.
No.
Did I say Brittany? Did I? I think I was slobbering.
It's okay.
Too much of that turmeric
gotta-
coffee.
bro,
That
you
does. When people say, "Why are you coughing so much?" I don't want to tell the truth. It's turmeric coffee.
You got a
It gets
full mouth,
phlegmy.
bro. You got a full mouth. You got
Shit. What was I just saying?
You said Whitney Cummings.
Oh, she got reported to HR on a show she was on because as she was leaving, she said, "Merry Christmas." Some intern,
No.
yes, intern was offended, called Human Resources because she said, "Merry Christmas."
crazy.
And her response was, she goes, "Hey, I really don't give a fuck if you have a good Christmas. It's just a nice thing to say."
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck about your Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't even know you. Like,
Something that's
they
really
reported her.
something that's very fucking important for people to realize about the West, something that's really unique about the West and Western civilization, is that imperialism, racism, sexism, all these isms that we are guilty of. The West didn't invent these things, but we did. We were egregious violators in some cases of that. Slavery was a real thing in this country. But what's unique about the West, and I'm getting this thing, is that we were the first to label it and condemn it. And the West has always been a country that seems always to be in the process of repenting for its past, repenting for its sins. That is not common. That is unique to, and self-criticism is part of it. Is as a society, we are, so people like that silly girl who that's been going on actually in one way or another for a long time. Now it's
The intern?
Yes, now it's
Yeah.
way more.
I don't know if it was a girl or a boy.
Right
I'm not sure.
now it's a little bit more. It's way more. But that's actually to the character of this country. We have always had people who kind of went, that's wrong. I don't want to do that. This isn't fair. All that kind of stuff. And it was it would always cause all kinds of problems. But that's extreme. That's a silly goose. Whoever's doing that is dumb.
Well, it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's a Hollywood thing where these people can't be liberal enough. They're trying so hard to be progressive that they're just becoming ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
They get so reactionary, and everyone's scared that they're going to be out of the woke loop. Like maybe they're behind. They're letting something slide that they should have stepped up for. Because now you can get in trouble if you don't come out against someone saying Merry Christmas. Like, hey, man, where were you when that fucking pig said Merry Christmas?
Yeah.
Do you know what Christmas means?
Yeah.
You're like, dude, they want to take away the word supremacy and quantum supremacy, which is quantum computing. It's next level, next step computing. And there was an article about Google achieving quantum supremacy. And they were like, well, we don't like the term supremacy because it reminds people of white supremacy.
But do you know what I think about those people? Do you know what I think about a lot of those people? They're ready. They're young.
Yes.
They're not experienced, and they're not that bright. I'm sorry.
Well, this is the thing is they are bright. They just aren't wise. They're very smart, and they know they are, which is one of the reasons why they want to make an argument to push something like that through and think that it makes sense. It's because they're so smart. But what they're not is you get seasoned by your interactions with human beings. You're naive when you're younger, and then as you get older, you get seasoned.
Your mind changes.
But you also get seasoned, meaning you experience so many different human beings that exhibit these sort of stereotypes. and these like patterns of behavior. And you got to know when people are being knuckleheads, and you got to know when people are being wise and objective, and you got to know when people are being kind and loving, and you got to know when people are being assholes. Like you can see all the different things. As you get older, you get more data. You know, and a lot of these kids are like 20. You know, they're 22 and they're yelling about the world. Like that Greta Thunberg chick that they keep breaking every. She's 16.
16, she's a kid.
Listen, you've got some good points, but they're using you now.
Well, what happens is as you get older and you try to solve problems at the level of detail. So if you and I had to really solve some problems, let's say healthcare, if you and I am sitting here with
I'm not
Jamie.
solving shit.
Yeah, if we had to try, right? What would happen is we might come with more of a Republican or a Democratic or a liberal or a conservative sensibility initially. I think once you get down to the level of detail and you try to solve these problems, all that ideology kind of goes out the window because now you're dealing with hard numbers and math and you're trying to deal in percentages and you're trying to deal with what's the best policy for the most number of people. And so it becomes way grayer and way less teamy if you are somebody that has to solve problems. If you are somebody who has to turn a profit, if you're somebody who has to figure out what your clientele actually will buy. And I think sometimes that's why people who own businesses and people who have to make the trains run on time have a different philosophical and political point of view than do people who essentially spend a lot of time reading, thinking, and writing in an academic institution.
Right.
Because you don't need to get down to the level of detail. You can stay in that wonderful world of theory. And that's an important world. It's not to say that you shouldn't have that, but a lot of journalists come from that world. They come straight from that world of theory, that world of that intellectual pursuit, and they come right into, then they see the world. And I think that might be why a lot of times people in the media tend to be a little bit more ideological, maybe a little bit more liberal, depending, because you could say Fox News is just as fucking ideological on the other side. But I do think your perspective changes when you have to get down to
when you're
business.
out there in the real world.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
There's
It's like
no doubt.
fighting. It's like
you
fighting.
need both, though.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I think we need to make this distinction. Like you need these quantum theorists. You need these historians. You need these people that are just completely engaged in whatever the subject
world
is
of
at
ideas.
hand, and you know, and they're just lifelong academics. And this is what they're going to do. You need both.
Yeah.
But what the real problem is when people come out of these universities and they have these sort of hard line ideas of how the world needs to change.
They're revolutionaries.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
So they want to burn down the whole building.
And then you start looking for witches, okay? And then you start going, that bitch said Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what's nuts. Google's calling it quantum supremacy. Can you fucking believe this shit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got to burn it down.
They're
burn
young.
it down.
They're young.
It's a lot of it is being young.
But young people can do some, when they get together, the communist revolution was, you know.
This is also why discourse is so important, right? Like young people need to talk to other people. You know, like a lot of these people with these ideas are one day going to laugh at those ideas. They're one going to look back and go, oh my God, when I was 20, I was so stupid. Just like you have done, just like I have done, just like basically everybody does as they get older. You start thinking, oh my God, when I was 18, what a fucking moron I was. Oh my God, when I was 24, you want to hear the stupid shit I thought I should do? I mean, that's part of life.
You also have to realize that historically, that thing I sent you, there's a people ask me what I read and stuff. If you go to audible.com and go to the great courses, I listen to these courses. I just listened to 48 lectures by a guy named Robert Buchholz, who's this fucking amazing professor on the foundations of Western civilization. One of the things he says in it is he said, Europeans, I mean, the history of Europe, I mean, culminating with World War I and World War II, as bloody and as violent, it's beyond what we can imagine. How many millions were killed in World War II? It's beyond what we can imagine. But Europeans figured out, and it's a huge accomplishment, and really the first time in history for anybody, they figured out how to solve their differences without killing each other. And that happened after World War II. And it took that long. They actually figured out a way to solve their differences by disagreeing, by fighting about it, by fighting dirty, but by by winning elections.
Hey, here's a question. The war in Europe, all the countries involved.
Yeah.
What was the what was the size of the landscape we're looking at in like relationship to the United States? When you look at France and Germany and England, like what is that? Like,
well, it wasn't just France,
Poland.
Germany, and
Oh,
England
yeah,
either,
but I'm
right?
talking
It was
about all of
Russia.
those.
It was Russia.
Yeah, sure.
Russia, I think, is 5 time zones, right?
Russia's giant.
Yeah.
Russia's a different animal, right?
Yeah.
Because Russia is, that's Asia.
Yeah, and Russia would just rely on old General Winter.
But
as
European
Buchholz would say.
aspect of it, the European part of World War I and II. I wonder how much. What I was thinking is like it's almost like having a war inside America, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's really close.
I think if you look at if you take France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Poland, all those areas,
they fit in Rhode Island.
Hungary, Austria, yeah, all those, Bulgaria, Romania, Yugoslavia.
Put those in
back then.
Florida. We'll stuff those in Florida.
How big is that area? The size.
I'm on the. Give me 1
He's
minute.
got too much. That's a lot of Googling.
I found a thing to like World War I map, 40 maps that explain World War I. So
Well, World War One's a different thing too. Yeah.
Oh,
World
yeah.
War One was.
that's what you're talking about, right? Though?
Well, one
Well,
and
World War
two.
II.
I want to
Well, two is the whole world.
Yeah, two is everything, right?
But so
Two
was
is
World War
Japan,
One. Remember,
too.
World War One, the Ottoman Empire was crumbling, right? So Turkey's empire was crumbling. So Turkey got the Middle East involved. The British were involved in the Middle East. They were fighting the Turks. That whole area became a theater for war.
Dude, I'm on my third Wild West book in the last couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah, about the history of the Wild West. Let me tell you this one. It's a Blood and Thunder. Yeah. Blood and Thunder, an epic tale of the American West. It's about Kit Carson and the Mountain Men.
Yeah.
Bro.
Rough dudes.
Bro.
Men.
Just the wars with all the various tribes and the chaos and the way they would kill people. Oh my God, it's so crazy.
The Native Americans?
Oh yeah, dude!
brutal.
One of these stories that I was reading, I don't think it was this one. It wasn't the Kit Carson one. It was the one on General Custer. General Custer was the last one, which was Son of the Morning Star. That was the last one that I was reading. Bro,
Yeah.
there's a Native American guy wants to fuck this other guy's wife, so he tries to get him. He can't get him. Eventually, he finds him one day, kills him, eats his heart, cooks his heart, comes back and tells everybody, then marries the lady.
Well, you got to eat a man's heart because you impose his will on him.
Imagine
It's one
you're
thing to
married.
choke a guy
married,
out.
you're a woman. You're
Yeah.
married to a guy, and this other dude wants to fuck you. He kills your husband and eats his heart.
Yeah.
And then you say, "Get in this teepee, big boy."
That's pretty fucking gangster.
That's pretty fucking.
Because the
gangster.
guy loved you, and I'm going to eat his heart. I'm going to eat his love for you.
He
So
cut 2 fingers off of his hand because he couldn't get to her, and he loved her so much.
Damn.
And he was angry that he couldn't kill her.
did he
man.
win her over?
Well, he must have won her over. He cut 2 fingers off his hand before he got to her.
Damn.
And then found the guy after he cut 2 fingers off his hand.
Yeah.
Killed the guy.
Yeah.
Ate his fucking heart.
Sure.
Cooked it. Came back, told everybody. Like ate most
Yeah.
of the heart.
Yeah, that's a stalker. That's a
Oh, yeah.
stage 5 stalker. Is that or does that go beyond?
past? That's past.
I'm going to eat his heart.
Ate his heart. You remember like when we used to have those terrorism colors? Like today's
Yeah, yeah.
yellow. No worries.
Yeah.
Remember it was a flag?
Yeah, that's a fact.
This is it? The battlefronts of
1917.
Europe?
Yeah, this was from 1917, and a paper
Yeah.
in London made this. This is explaining
Interesting.
the battle area, battle zones.
Yeah.
So all of it fit in the center of the country.
Right, and they compared it even.
Yeah. God
Miles.
damn, dude. Just imagine if that shit was going on in the center of the country. If Montana was at war with Wyoming and Colorado.
It was all trench warfare too.
Oh, my
See,
God.
World War is really interesting because there are some parallels now. World War One. If you look at World War One, it was a time when, first of all, Europe hadn't been to war for 100 years. So when people went into war in World War One, they went in, every young man volunteered, and even women volunteered to be nurses and to cook. And all. So it was this, they were singing songs, and they were going to be gone for 2 weeks, and it was going to be really exciting, and it was romantic. And no one, including the soldiers, really understood the technology, like machine guns and that kind of technology and mustard gas, and they didn't know. They were still fighting the way they had been fighting for millennia, which was on horseback, feathers in their helmets, and charging with great bravery. And so what happened was they would charge, and the other side would open up with machine guns and artillery, and then ultimately poison gas. And so the numbers are too staggering to even imagine, but like for 800 yards to try to capture that much land or whatever, they lost something like 300,000 men in a day. I mean, that's what was going on. They were just getting mowed down.
That many?
Oh, dude, the numbers are crazy. The Battle of the Somme, I can't remember what it was. It was beyond, like, the number of men that were lost per foot. I remember I had to ask 3 times because I couldn't believe it. And because they were just, so your arrogant commanders would blow a whistle. Sometimes they would kick a soccer ball. And you would follow the soccer ball over the ditch and run
as they were shooting at you.
And if you didn't, you'd be tried for cowardice. Sometimes you'd be shot by your commanding officer in the back of your head. Because remember, a lot of these armies were conscripted. They were brought in against their will from, this was the time of imperialism when the country that was bigger and stronger, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Austria itself, would come in and say, you belong to us now. There were these secret alliances that would happen. And so that battle was so insane, and it was a true meat grinder. It was a true meat grinder. And then you'd have no man's land, right? So you'd have no man's land, and that was the area where they would come in. They had to cross to kill, and you'd hear them dying and groaning, but nobody could get to them. It was the worst, man. It was the worst. And in those trenches, the body parts and everything, and then people would have to go to the bathroom there, and then the rain would come. You were living in a gutter. It was beyond what people can imagine. It was beyond. It was the most horrific thing. And the only thing that was worse was something called World War II, which is essentially a continuation of that first European Civil War. And I don't know, man. It's beyond what we can. We're so fucking
less
lucky
than 100
we don't live
years
in a time
ago.
like that. Yes, sir.
Less than 100 years
yes,
ago.
Yes, sir. 70 years ago.
Inside of one person's lifetime.
Yeah.
There
1945
was
is when
Ari's dad is a Holocaust survivor.
Yep. There you go.
Ari Shafir's dad.
Yeah.
Is a fucking Holocaust survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how close it is.
And that all came from this idea
that.
back then that you could perfect society and perfect human beings.
6-inch howitzer.
Yeah.
That's a mountain
human beings,
howitzer.
this is where the idea of where ideas can be so dangerous. This idea that human beings are a blank slate and that you can make them anything you want. You can re-educate them in a camp and they'll be what you want. This is the history of Europe. And those ideas lost ground. That's why the individual, it's so fucking important for the individual to take precedence over the state.
This is also why it's so important for people to be able to express themselves.
That's what I mean.
And for people to,
But fidelity to the state in a fascist society in communist Russia, fidelity to the state, the collective must be superior to the individual. The individual, you're a tiny leaf on a tree. If you have a society like that, somebody's going to run that. Somebody's going to set that doctrine, and they will justify killing 20, 30 million people the way
and
Stalin
they'll say
did.
that they're doing it for the country.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's
so many patterns like that just repeat themselves over and over again with human beings in power.
You get a lot. Hitler, by many accounts, seemed to genuinely enjoy World War I. He enjoyed it. And then he got blinded by mustard gas, and he couldn't believe Germany surrendered. He couldn't believe it. And a German physician, there's one record of the German physician characterizing Hitler as follows. Again, this is from Buchholz's lectures. It said, he goes, this person is not fit to command humans and is dangerously psychotic. And because of a lot of crazy reasons, he was able to join the Nazi. He actually started as a minder for the German army.
What's a minder?
So a guy who spied on subversive groups.
Oh, like a rat.
Yeah, revolutionary groups. That's how he came across the Nationalist Socialist Party, the National Socialist Party. Yeah, the Nazis. And but kind of went, you know what?
I like what these guys are saying.
Yeah.
So he joined.
Yes. I want fucking war.
So that's like if you had an undercover FBI agent, he became one of the Hell's Angels and took over the organization. Yeah. Because he took over.
Right. But World War II, like that. But the crazy thing about right before World War II, everything Like today. So you ever notice how today we can't agree on really even source material. If you have an argument with something, you go, where'd you get your information?
Right.
CNN? What? Or
Right.
Fox News? You fucking, and the conversation it can't even start.
Right.
Because we don't have, now we're talking about a simulation, maybe this whole thing, maybe you and I are just self-replicating machines. You know what? So nobody really knows at this point. It's really hard to arrive at a fixed point of truth.
Right.
Back in the day, the Bible was your fixed point of truth, maybe Aristotle. But at the turn of the century, like right before World War I, man, like you had Darwin comes along, well, he'd come along before that, but you had Freud who said something to the effect of, hey, we're animals and we will kill and use each other as sexual tools if we don't have a strong society. And there were all these sort of new Nietzsche, Marx, who said God is dead, or Nietzsche said God is dead, but Marx basically said religion is the opium of the masses, human beings are the masters of their own fate, and all of these guys who basically took God out of the equation, and all of them were basically saying that we are animals, and God is no longer here. We're animals, and if you don't create a society to control our animalistic impulses, we're going to fucking slaughter and rape each other. And World War I proved all of those guys right, basically. But it was a time when everything was up in the air. Einstein comes along and says, time and space, not so fast. It's actually relative. And everybody went, what? Huh? He goes, yeah, time doesn't exist like a stopwatch. God didn't start a stopwatch, and that's what Newton said. But actually,
good luck trying to work your way through that.
You can't.
The one where
it confused everybody.
If you go fast enough into space and then come back, everybody here will be old and you'll be the same age.
Do you know how that works?
Yeah, I do. But it's still like, what?
It's really weird. Do you know, I think this is true. This is what I read. He was walking, he was like in, where was he? CERN, Switzerland, or where the fuck it is. He gets off he's trying to come up with these, he's thinking about the theory of relativity or whatever. And he gets off the train and he's walking away from the train station. He turns and looks at the clock. And the clock says, let's say 6 o'clock. He turns and looks at the clock and he turns back around and he stops and he goes, wait, hold on. I was walking away from the clock. So when I saw the clock, it said 6. But that's how long it took the light to get to my eye. By the time the light hit my eye, it was actually later. Because the light has to hit my eye for me. Do you understand?
Right, a fraction of a second later.
So he said, what if I was moving at the speed of light? Time would stand still.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because the light would never hit my eye. It's a weird thing to say, but I was like, that's a fucking...
Yeah, but I wonder if that works with biological aging. I wonder if biological aging is on a constant, right?
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. Entropy, right?
Well, I know that like time would be different, right? But I wonder, like when you say time stands still, but it's got to exist if you're alive. It's got to exist somehow biologically. Your body's not going to stop heart beating and breathing, right? Yeah. So like how many heartbeats do you have in you? I mean, that's part of what life is. Life is like you got a limited number of heartbeats if you wanted to really break it down.
Right.
Like how many of them are you going to use while you're going through light speed? Those don't count?
I know.
Your heart's going to beat, right?
Right.
So how long is it actually going to take in real time down on Earth while you're up there?
I don't know.
I think it's going to be like where you're moving so fast that it feels like 10 minutes because it is 10 minutes to you. And then you come back. You've only aged 10 minutes, but it might be 10 years down here.
Well, didn't you have somebody on your podcast? I think it was, they were talking about how you don't, what ages you, the reason we look older than we did 25 years ago is because of entropy. So things mix, and you can't unmix them.
What's the matter, Jimmy?
I just listened to this book about time, and these concepts just came up, sort of that you're talking about. After the whole book, I was more confused about time, to be honest with you.
Fuck, dude,
it's called The Order of Time.
I don't have time.
Rovelli.
By the way, that's a great name. Carlo Rovelli. It's like if you were a chick and your friend was going to introduce you to a guy and his name was Carlo Rovelli.
My name is Carlo.
What does he do? He's a New
Rovelli.
York Times selling author, bestseller. He'd be like, ooh.
And he plays jazz at night.
Oh,
Carlo
for sure. He goes to see jazz.
Rovelli.
Yeah, he'll smoke one clove cigarette a month.
According to this book,
Sometimes
time
I
works
cook.
different, like up higher than it does lower. For instance, if you had 2 synchronized clocks, even on the top of this table and the ground, they would not be synced up
Why?
over a
Why?
certain amount of time. It's
Why? Because this is what Carlo Rovelli
like
he
time
says.
moves slower at sea level. So if you live at sea level, you will live longer than people that live higher.
Okay,
I-
that's because the
According to time
oxygen,
and
the
all,
oxygen
yeah,
is much.
it's a lot.
I want to be fucking Italian so badly, dude, or
Well,
Spanish.
you have a lot of Italian in you.
I know.
What percentage do you have in you?
Yes, I'm 51%.
51.
But I want to speak this way. No, I want to be romantic and I
There's
want to whisper.
something about being born like in a country that has like a long, rich tradition.
I know.
You know, if you're born somewhere like if you're born in Spain, you know, and your grandfather was a bullfighter, you're born in Spain.
But yeah, I love a flair for the dramatic, as you know.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah, you got a.
I remember I was a young man. I was like 19. I was at fucking Club Med with my family, and just the girls and everything. And there was this hot as shit, like CrossFit. She wasn't doing CrossFit, but she looked like it. She was such an athlete, and I've always liked muscular, you know. And I'm looking at him. This guy, he was from Italy. I remember he was, and I remember I never forgot. He just goes like this. He goes, I go, she's beautiful, and he goes, she is too beautiful, you know. I die for her. I die.
I die for her.
And I was like, I want to be you, man. I want to say that once in my fucking life. I die for
Well,
her.
if you ever watched like that show Vikings, you ever see that show Vikings? It's a fun show.
Yeah.
It's actually a very good show. Very underrated show.
Yeah.
A lot of people get fucked up and killed. But one of the things that I was thinking, and a lot of it happens in Rome, a lot of it happens in Europe, is a lot of crazy shit with the Vikings. But while I was watching, I was thinking, those people had kids, and their 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 kids have iPhones. Like, it's not that
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah.
And those people that live in that part of the world, those people that live in Ireland, and those people that live in Great Britain, and a lot of that area, like, a lot of the folks who lived there are the ancestors of these people that lived this insane history.
Right.
Insane history of warfare with swords and shields
Yeah.
and shit. And these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's the movie. Or that's the show,
No
rather.
joke.
It's a good show, man.
Hey, whatever happened to one of my favorite UFC fighters who's a Valhalla Viking motherfucker? The guy, he's from Sweden, shredded out of his mind.
Which guy? Emil Meek?
He fought at 170.
Yeah, that's Emil Meek. He's a beast.
He's a rock and roller
I think
too.
you say Mech. I
he
think
play-
you're supposed
he
to say
plays the
Mech.
guitar too.
I think pronounce his name Mech.
Do
even
you
though
get
it's
more shredded than that?
M-E-K. Yeah, he's a fucking gorilla, and he's super strong too.
Yeah.
Very good fighter. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't seen him in a while.
Classic Viking.
He was at the event last weekend, so
When was his last fight? When did he have a fight
Wow
last?
ago, I feel.
Yeah, it's been sometimes these dudes, they'll hurt something, and
Yeah.
they're out
a
for
while.
like Cub Swanson just tore his ACL,
I know.
and he's going to be out for almost a year.
it sucks.
he's scheduled to fight in February.
Oh, he is? Okay. Who's he fighting?
Jake Matthews.
Oh, that's a good fight.
Hmm.
Cub was in a grappling match against Jake Shields, who's a fucking huge guy. He's quite a bit bigger than
Yeah,
Cub.
Jake's
And-
huge.
and
a-
Jake
and
had
a
his-
sick grappler.
And Jake had his legs laced up, and Cub was trying to work his way out of it, and just a freak thing. It just popped, and his knee and his meniscus, his ACL blew out, and he just got surgery on it.
Jake used me as a dummy once. I would say I rolled with him, but he used me as a dummy. And I said, "Why'd you beat me up so bad?" He didn't know me. He goes, "I didn't know if you were good. I didn't want you to get a position that you talk about it on your podcast." I was like, "Hey, dude,
You
I'm a
talk about it
fucking.
on your
I'm an
podcast.
actor, and I have a
So
vagina."
he was trying to hurt you?
No, he just
little
had
bit?
to. He had
Squeeze
to
you?
make sure that I was one with the mat, though.
Oh,
make sure that I was
press.
get in the mat. Let's go ahead and
your
get your
tissue.
fucking face against here. Let me go. Well, I got to clean the mat a little dirty, so let me just
Well, he's a competitor professionally. He doesn't have no time to be fake rolling
No.
with people.
There's no- don't
Every
fuck around.
role he has, these are like
Yeah.
he's a pro.
I had no business being on the mat with him.
He's still doing like really competitive grappling too. Like he's.
Have you ever hung with him? He's really smart.
He's a very good guy,
But he's
yeah.
also intellectually curious. Like
Yeah.
Jake does a lot of reading. Like I have very good conversations with Jake. Really
Yeah.
smart guy.
super good grappler. He submitted Mark Munoz at that event too. Yeah, Jake's legit, and I've seen him in grappling competitions like long before he ever fought in the UFC.
I feel like
really
Mark
high
was
level.
318 pounds in his last. He was a big. He hasn't been missing any meals.
Mark looks big. Yeah, I don't know how
Thick
much
guy,
you weigh.
thick guy.
He definitely is not in tip.
I'm sorry, Mark.
shape.
I'm sorry, Mark. If somebody was joking, maybe you're not that heavy.
Yeah, that's Cub. See, they're laced up like this, and as he's moving there, his knee just popped.
Oh, that's not good. That's awful.
It can happen, man, in weird ways when you have legs tangled up like that. just sometimes someone will just lean one way and it puts a lot of pressure on your knee and it just explodes.
Jake's might be the toughest vegan on the planet.
He's not a vegan. He's a
not?
vegetarian. He
Oh,
eats
okay.
eggs.
I enjoyed I enjoyed that Game Changers with Chris Kresser, and it
Wilkes.
was a little bit like listening to a Protestant and a Catholic argue over the minutia of how to worship God. Like they both believe in God. It's like or like a Sunni and a Shia. It was very interesting in that sense, like how human beings get steeped in too much information, and then we'll start parsing out stuff that's not that helpful to the listener.
It's a long conversation. The conversation about health is very long. And unfortunately, when Chris was talking about the Game Changers, he got several things wrong. Particularly, the big ones were the amount of protein that you can get in peanut butter, the amount of protein that's in bread, and whether or not that is equal to 3 ounces of ground meat.
Right.
And what Wilkes was showing is that it is. And he made his point very well. And that made his argument not look very good.
Right.
And then there was the other problem, whereas Chris Kresser sort of personally defined what he defines as low carb versus medium carb versus high carb, and wasn't making a distinction that this is not the consensus amongst nutritionists.
Right.
What they consider low carb, medium carb, high carb. James accused him of that. Chris denied it, and then James pulled out all of these different articles that show that he has a different version of what he calls low carb, medium carb, or high carb. The problem with all this is he's just making Chris look bad, and he's not necessarily proving that a vegetarian or vegan diet's better for you.
Right.
But he is rightly pointing out that he was wrongly criticized.
Yes.
So I get
I was
his
very
position.
impressed. I was very impressed with James' ability to come prepared.
Very prepared.
Like I do believe he spent 3,000 hours. I mean, 1,000 hours. I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that now.
He knows his
Yes.
shit.
After talking to him
Yeah.
about this and the way he handled it,
But I kept going back to what Chris was saying, which was, hey, I believe in plants. I eat mostly plants. A little animal products, some animal products, is gonna get. It's an easier way to get B1.
Yes, but that's the problem.
It's not going to kill you.
That's the problem with doing a documentary, and then that's a problem with someone criticizing the documentary. You know, it's like,
But the documentary,
he's got enough stuff that he can say you were inaccurate with the criticism. So that then we get lost in the argument. Like, is meat bad for you? Is it like...
and that's the main question.
It's not.
No.
That's the
Neither is
problem.
dairy.
But the way they're conflating it with people who were advertising for cigarettes and doctors advertising for cigarettes back in the day and saying that cigarettes are fine, that these are the same people that are doing this. Like, no, the problem is everyone was aware for a long time that cigarettes are not healthy.
Right.
This is not the case with meat.
No.
These studies where you connect people with all these diseases with meat, they connect their diet as a whole. They could be eating cheeseburgers and bread and soda and lifestyle and drinking and smoking, but they also eat meat. Versus people who don't eat meat.
Yeah.
Well, if someone is going to be conscientious and think about, even if they're incorrect and they just assume that the science says that eating meat is bad for you, you start eating more fish or more chicken or more vegetables. You clean up your diet. I bet just statistically, those people have less drinking. I bet
agree,
statistically
100%.
they have less cigarette smoking. They're probably healthier on the whole because they're making choices that, even if it's incorrect, they think are good for you, like not eating meat or as much meat.
But as a non-nutritionist who doesn't know shit,
Yeah.
When I watched Game Changers, I have to say that it did seem like the narrative, the story of the movie was that being a vegan is better for you for all these reasons, all these scientific reasons, than eating any meat. That's what for me it was a vegan film.
100%
Even though
was a vegan
James would
film.
probably disagree with that, for me, just as a viewer, the argument was being made that being a vegan, that from just what I got, right, regardless of what was meant, I got that being a vegan's better for you. It keeps your dick hard. You won't die of cancer, and you'll have less inflammation, and
More
all
endurance.
those things, more endurance. All of which seemed. You know, I talked to Lane Norton about this for a while, and he had written this thing. I don't know if
He had a video. You could watch his video on Game Changers Debunked, where he broke down basically every single claim that they made that was incorrect.
Wow. Okay.
Scientifically, as a PhD, he's a legit scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely understands what's really going on when it comes to nutritional science.
Yeah, and I would have stuck to that, though. I would have just said, at the end of the day, this is a debate about can you eat some meat and dairy.
But here's the problem. Because of Kresser's criticism of the film, he was in every right. He had every right to defend the criticism.
I respect James.
And he did it right.
Yeah.
The problem was we didn't get any closer at the end. There was some confusion that was about whether or not it is healthy or not healthy to eat meat. He was citing some studies, and Kresser was saying those studies aren't valid because of this and that. And that's where we would have been if we had a guy like Lane Norton in here. Would have helped a lot. We could would have someone actually explain it.
But you could also have a guy who comes in and goes, "Hey guys, here's the thing, man. Let's just look at cultures that live a long time and have vibrant, lives and good lives. Some of it is like I'd like to look at the blue zones who eat meat, and they a lot of times they eat some form of dairy and they drink and they have good communities. They don't retire. There's a lot more to longevity and health and living a good life than being a purist."
For sure.
Whether or not it's in this direction or that direction, I think
it's all in regard. It's the result of a real conversation that we really need to have because overpopulation is real. The conversation is really ultimately what is sustainable, and it's not what is sustainable right now for your lifespan. It's like what is sustainable for the future, and should we engineer for a better tomorrow? Because
we already are, though, aren't we?
We sort of are. We're not, though. People are acting as individuals. There's not really a whole lot of engineering in terms of slowing down the rate of childbirth or trying to prevent people from having too many kids, trying to prevent overpopulation.
But there are a lot of cultures. I mean, a lot of countries and societies are at zero population growth, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, but the thing is, there's plenty of people that live below the poverty line in terms of like what our perception of the poverty line is. And what you're seeing in a lot of these more industrialized nations is as people start developing careers and men and women get careers, you have less childbirth. Like you're seeing that in Japan. Japan has apparently an issue with a lack of childbirth, not as many as they should have. It's not sustainable.
That's right.
They worry about that with some countries, and
Germany,
I've even heard that about the United States, that one day it's going to even out, and then everyone will have careers, and then we'll have less children, and then it's a statistical thing.
China is having trouble with having enough. They have more elderly, so they're having trouble getting. This is crazy, but China is having trouble getting enough people to handle their economy. I mean,
that makes sense.
Skilled workers, which was shocking to me.
But there's so many people, right?
Yeah, so they're importing labor, which is like, what? Because they were kept at one child per family, and China can do that. I went to Beijing, and I had to do a retinal scan, and they were very specific about they give you a phone, and they were like, I was shooting a movie. They give you a phone.
You have to use their phone.
There are firewalls. You can't just surf the web, and they very clearly have signs that say any criticism of the government, and when you're an actor, they say this, will not be tolerated. You will be. And then you talk to people that live there, and they say things like, "Dude, you disappear. That you can just disappear on the street if you're a So I don't know, man.
What the fuck, man? There's a billion of them.
Yeah, I got problems with that.
A billion of them, and they're being controlled by this crazy oppressive government.
Oh, ain't nothing but your regular.
I know, but it's weird to see that in 2019, right? It's weird to see that online.
It's become more authoritarian in some ways.
Well, I guess their grip is looser, so they're clawing more. They're trying to squeeze harder. If you think about all of human history, this is the way that empires were run, but they weren't run with technology, and they weren't run while the people had access to technology. So the fact they're clamping down on web searches and what sites you can visit, and there's a lot of companies that felt like they had to do business with them too. Like I was talking to this lady that worked at Google, and she was saying, look, they're going to copy Google. Yeah. Or we work with them. Yeah. So like this idea of like you shouldn't work with them because they're going to censor the people. Like, listen, they're censoring no matter what. Yeah. But if we don't go over there, they're just going to copy our shit.
It's a massive market.
Well, the copying thing, the intellectual property thing, they don't give a fuck.
Industrial espionage is huge.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The Huawei thing. Yeah. The fucking head of Huawei, his daughter is being held captive in Vancouver. Do you know about that? Yeah. Google that. The head of Huawei has been accused of some crazy backdoor shit they put into routers, and they're really worried about their technology getting to this country in the United States, has stopped the production of their cell phones in the United States. Like you have to buy them from somewhere else and bring them in. Sort of, what's it called? What's it called when it's not connected to someone? Like we buy a cell phone, it's not connected to somebody. You know what I'm calling? No, it's not untethered. It's like that though. Whatever, I'll remember it. But you could buy one of those on like Amazon or one of those tech websites, but you can't get it at Verizon. You can't get it at AT&T. They blocked all that. And they're like terrified that this company that has become, they're number 2 now. They're right behind Apple. Like Apple's number 1. Is Apple? No, Samsung. Samsung's number 1. They're number 2 and Apple's number 3. So they've passed Apple in cell phone production.
China's always had, I think, they were humiliated in their past, by the British, by a lot of different, by the Japanese who behaved atrociously. But you know what the opium wars were, where the British traders were bringing in opium from India to China, and China developed a major opium problem. So the emperor and the government said, "This is a major problem. Guess what, Britain? You can't sell your opium on our docks. You're unloading huge boxes of fucking opium from India, and I know you're making a lot of money, but no." Because we have a major addiction problem. And Britain said, you're interfering with free trade and we should be allowed to. And China said, you're not allowed to. And so they went to war, and Britain won that war and forced China to continue buying opium.
What?
And
what year was this?
It's called the Opium Wars in
Pull up that article.
1890. And that's why Hong Kong became... Well, that's why the British took Hong Kong and leased it for 100 years.
Look at this. Under house arrest in Vancouver, Huawei CFO lives in luxury and spends her days out shopping.
There you go. She's got to wear a GPS monitor. I'll take that fucking life.
Make her wear a GPS monitor. She has to stick to her 11 p.m. curfew. So, by the way, she's tired by 11 anyway. So, her dad owns Huawei. Is that what it is?
Yeah, she's the CFO also.
Right.
So I don't know.
Bring her up. Is she cute?
But doesn't her dad own Huawei? Isn't that what it is?
It didn't say that necessarily. She might be daughter of billionaire founder. Yeah.
So she can't.
Okay.
Why is she under house arrest though?
Because they think Huawei is doing a bunch of really shifty things.
Well,
man.
they are.
The U.S. wants to extradite her on the grounds that she tricked banks into potentially violating Iran sanctions. Has sparked an unprecedented diplomatic row. Yeah, dude, They don't give a fuck. They're doing British business with everybody. They're showing up with a briefcase full of cash and some nuclear weapons. Fuck you. And this is what the United States government is worried about. Like these people becoming the number 1 technology provider in the world. Like if they provided all the cell phones that everyone in America uses. Like what if, like they were close. If they came out, okay, and they got onto the Verizon network or the AT&T network with some of these phones, when you look at the tech people, like the people like Unbox Therapy and MKBHD, those guys who develop these YouTube videos breaking down the components of cell phones, they're always super favorable about these Huawei phones. They have crazy cameras. Some of them have this fucking insane ability to zoom in.
Really?
They use computer learning, and they have... so they're
better than the iPhone?
The new iPhone is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But when the latest Huawei Mate Pro, whatever the fuck it was, one of them, their most high-end phone, there was a video of them doing a zoom, and like you can't believe how much bigger they can make something that's in the distance and make it look really clear.
Damn.
And they have image stabilization and crazy. I mean, they're about to come out with a 150 megapixel sensor on a camera that's on the phone.
Jesus Christ.
They're going hog wild with technology and providing like the state of the art shit. And just a few years ago, they were like a non-heard of brand. I mean, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you never heard about people talking about Huawei.
No.
Now Huawei has a direct competitor to the MacBook Pro, where, I mean, a lot of people think it's the best laptop that you can buy.
But
it has a bezel-to-bezel display.
Yeah,
it works on fingerprints. The web camera pops out of a key. Like you press a key and it pops up so people can't see you while you're jerking off. If you're one of those guys that worries, the government's watching me, man.
I sure am.
Well, these Huawei computers, they figured it out. And they basically copied the design of an Apple MacBook, just made it way better.
Yeah, but don't they have encrypted, don't they have built-in spyware stuff? We don't know.
Things.
We don't
some
know.
things. I don't know.
This is what's funny. This is what I like about my argument for the marketplace. Because you know you don't want unchecked capitalism, but what's great about the marketplace is that you have to allow for creative destruction. That like the fact that, remember that flip camera, all the stuff that we had, GPS. You had to have a GPS, you had to have a little camera, then you had your phone, and you had to allow certain businesses to go out of business to get all that technology into one fucking place, which is your phone that we all use, and that requires people to. It requires creative destruction. It requires, like, you know, people lose, entire businesses fold under, but a new one's born.
Imagine if people bailed out all those portable phone businesses.
And that's what would happen.
Imagine if the government did that.
But that's what would happen
that's
what would happen in a government-controlled economy. In a socialist economy, I promise you, you would have boards or committees that would decide whether or not it was fair. They would never, a government organization would never allow for that kind of creative destruction. Fucking never. Because you'd have to protect jobs.
Hold on a second. No. But you wouldn't. Not in a situation like if China with technology. They're not like trying to save those stupid phones. Like when those phones became irrelevant because the cameras on the phones were better.
That's because they had to compete.
Or when the cameras
that's because they had to compete.
Yeah.
But that technology didn't come out of China. It came out of the West.
And technology did?
Yes.
Initially.
The innovation and all the innovation. Everything you see that comes out of Apple where you can swipe, all that stuff. Don't forget, that's all that came out of the free market. That came out of the cutthroat competition.
Oh yeah, no argument.
You know, I'm not.
But it's fascinating to me that they just take that and do it better.
Of course.
I mean, that's
the Japanese used to do that too. They would mimic.
Still have. They still do it. Look, that's what Lexus is. Lexus is them looking at BMW and Mercedes and going, I see some holes in your game, son. Yeah. And then they decided to do their own version of it, you know? And here's the thing about those cars versus any other car. They don't break.
Yeah,
that is the number one thing, man.
Great cars.
I've had a Lexus truck. I've had over the past 15 years, I had 3 of them.
Best car.
I've had zero problems with any of them ever.
Zero.
Yeah. They always start. They always drive perfect.
I've had 3 Lexus trucks. Same thing.
They're so well engineered. They're so well designed. There's something about Japanese vehicles, man.
I like my Tesla though. I had no problems with that either.
Yeah, I haven't had really anything major. I had a one little glitch once where the windshield wiper wasn't working correctly, but they fixed that quick.
Yeah.
But that's it. Other than that,
you're still driving your Tesla?
It's here, bitch.
Yeah.
Drove it here,
Is that your number one car?
Yeah. I drive it more than anything.
So easy, right?
It's so easy, and it allowed. One of the things I really enjoy is that I have a lot of loud cars. I like loud shit.
Yeah.
But the Tesla's silent.
I know.
So it makes I can think. So when I drive that, I really like driving that with no music on. Mm-hmm. I just like driving it because it's like silent. And I make my way to the Comedy Store and I could hear all the sounds around me in a way that I could never hear before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I never noticed that, but that's how I guess that's what I.
Yeah, because the car is not you're interfacing with the world differently. Like if I'm driving my Porsche is probably my loudest car, that GT3. That thing's loud. When I'm driving that, I'm being obnoxious.
Not as loud as the GT2, motherfucker.
That's pretty loud too.
I don't know. That's Brennan revved it. And I jumped like a bitch.
Like a bark.
I went like that because I didn't know he went. I went like my hands went up.
I sent him a video that is so ridiculous. It's the GT2 RS, his car, racing against all these exotics, like all these McLarens and Ferraris. He's just burying them over and over again. Oh yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
That car is like one of the fastest cars that you can buy.
He drives it. You know what I love about Brendan?
What?
He drives it like it's his number one car. It's his only
daily driver.
It's his daily driver.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fucking hilarious. A giant man in that ridiculous Porsche. It's his daily driver. You gotta love it. You gotta love him for it.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, he needs a reason to work so hard.
He's
one of those guys. Right, he likes to be rewarded. But those and I do too. Those vehicles, like that style of vehicle, it's like you're not doing what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is driving to work. Yeah. You're on a ride.
Yeah.
Is that his car?
I wish I liked cars that much.
Jesus Christ. Why don't you drive that for a day? You'll like cars that much.
Nah.
Especially after you get to the doctor.
Too much work, bro.
Get you some some of that man juice inside your body.
Fucking testosterone.
Then you'll get one of those. What do you mean too much work? What work are you
I don't know, man. I need to
anticipating?
fucking get a car like that, and I'm gonna get jacked. I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna shave my fucking body.
What about your
with
balls?
a straight razor? I'm manscaping the. I think we're sponsored by Manscaped.
Be
and by the
careful.
way, if you want to see me in person, this Saturday at the Celebrity Theater, I'm in Arizona, and then where am I? Hey Joe, where the fuck am I New Year's Eve?
Where are you New Year's Eve?
I'm at the Wilbur Theater in Boston, bro.
Oh shit!
At the Wilbur Theater in Boston. Get tickets or fucking die. And I got a whole new hour. So if you see me in the past 3 months, I got all new material. Look at
the
that
Wilbur,
shit.
one of my favorite theaters on
Oh, I'm
earth.
standing like a fucking matador.
Shout out
too.
to Bill Blumenreich.
Yeah, man, that's a great theater.
That's the best.
I love it. I think we got 400 tickets left. So
Beautiful.
get them.
The guy who owns it, Bill Blumenreich. I've been friends with that guy for 29 years.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've known him forever. Yeah, he booked me back when I was really just getting going. He booked me at his clubs.
Great theater.
Yeah, I've known that guy forever. I love that guy. I've been friends with him from the beginning of time.
You're now selling out to. How many tickets have you sold at one time?
The most?
Yeah. Let me let me get my hand on my pants.
The biggest place was with Chappelle, but that was me and him. That
Yeah.
didn't count. That was 25,000. That was Tacoma.
Fucking God.
Yeah,
Oh
he and I
my
we
God.
broke the record for the Tacoma Dome.
Oh, Jesus.
It was so ridiculous. It was fun.
Oh, that's
that was really fun. But by myself, probably San Diego. That's like 14.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
What's that
I've
like?
done some other ones that are in the neighborhood of that. It's weird. It's
it is,
real
right?
weird.
The
It's
laughter's
so
rolling.
weird. It's so weird. It just seems weird. Like you're getting out there, you're like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know, and I always come out to AC/DC, Long Way to the Top. If you want to rock and roll, you know why?
Great song, baby.
This is why, man. I was at the Improv. It's a funny story, and there was a dude who is the DJ, and he and I were standing there, and I was going up a little bit later, and there was a girl who was going on, who was doing a guest spot, who was very new, and it wasn't working so well. It was rough. She was bombing a little
Yeah.
bit. And I turned to the DJ, I go, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. and we high-fived, and, I left the room. And then when I went on stage, he played it.
Very smart.
And we looked at each other. I was like,
Yeah. Did
it's
he
a
know?
long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
It's a great
It's
fucking
a great fucking song. It's a great song. It's
Yeah,
one of the
man.
best road songs ever.
God damn.
You
I
know?
come up to Cashmere by Zeppelin. a
Ooh,
lot of
that's
times.
good,
It
too.
just gets me
Dun, dun,
pumped.
dun, dun, dun,
Dun.
They had so many fucking amazing songs.
Have you heard Greta Van Fleet?
Yes.
They're
Very good.
They're so good. Like they sound so much like Zeppelin, but I
Yeah.
don't mind. They get
Yeah.
away with it because they're so good.
Right. They're like the best tribute band
They
ever.
are, man. I listen to them and I rock
Yeah,
out.
and they're fucking really young, right? Aren't they
yeah.
like 21
yeah,
and
they're,
shit?
they're babies.
Listen, man, I'm down for any 21-year-old kids that appreciate Zeppelin,
Fuck
period.
yes, man.
Get in
Zeppelin's
there.
still astonishing.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
man.
to me, they're the great. They might be the greatest. You know, you got Pink Floyd, you got the Beatles, you got the Stones, you got the Who. But rock and roll, in terms of like a group that we still listen to and everything stops,
Yeah.
I think it's Zeppelin.
Well, they're certainly one of the all-time greats, but it's like almost like every different style of music has its appropriate moment where it hits you perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a moment where like you want to hear Voodoo Child and it comes on, you're like, but then there's a moment where like sitting on the dock of the bay is the perfect song to
Yeah.
hear. They're very different.
I like Thank You by Zeppelin
Yeah.
sometimes.
I was at a shitty bowling alley and Kickstart My Heart came on. I couldn't have been more happy.
Yeah,
You
it
know that
depends on
song?
your mood.
That's a fucking great workout song. But
Yeah.
that's the song. Like if you're at a bowling alley and Motley Crue Kickstart My Heart comes on, you're like, yeah.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
the right song for the moment, right? But like Sarah McLachlan there, you'd be like, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? But other times Sarah McLachlan's the perfect song.
It's the perfect song.
Yeah, it's all different, man. They all have their own little spot in the wave of time.
Yeah, they do.
They do. It's
They
like
really do.
And you never know like what you need to hear sometimes until you hear it. Sometimes a song will come on the radio and like at the perfect time, like you're listening to Spotify or something like that, and a song comes on like just when you needed to hear it.
Yep.
There's Kickstart My Heart
Is
with
that Sam Kinison?
Yes,
Oh.
it is. He was the driver.
Wow.
That's the downhill moments for Sam Kinison, hanging out with these motherfuckers, doing coke until fucking 7 o'clock in the morning, and then trying to do a show at the Comedy Store and being half out of it.
Can't do it.
That's what ruined him, man.
Yeah, it is.
Is success and partying. I still to this day maintain that the Kinison between 86 and 88 was probably the best comic that ever lived. He was a monster.
Phenomenal.
He was a monster.
Yeah.
He was making fun of shit that no one had the balls to touch.
Yeah.
He was crushing things.
I'm gonna go watch him again.
Oh my God! That year, this is him from the Rodney Dangerfield comedy special.
Okay.
Bro, he was a monster. Another head injury victim. Did you know that? Yes, sirree, Bob. Him, like Roseanne Barr.
Well, no, I know
One thing
he-
they both have in
that's how he
common.
died.
No. He was hit by a car when he was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, his brother Bill wrote a book called Brother Sam, and it was it's like a story of Sam's life. It's a really good book. If you're a Sam Kinison fan, I recommend it highly. Maybe his brother Bill. Is that
He was a strange-looking guy.
Is it?
Man.
I think it's called Brother Sam. I think I'm right. Anyway, in the book he talks about how Sam was hit by a car and like it was really bad when he was a little kid, and then after that his personality changed, became very impulsive, very wild. You couldn't control him. It's a head injury thing.
course it is.
It's the same as Roseanne Barr, the exact same story.
She had the same thing?
She was 15. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to have her on my podcast after her controversy and have her air this out to people. Like, you guys have to I love that lady. I've known her forever. She's a wonderful person, and she is a person with like legitimate mental illness.
Yeah.
She was hit by a car when she was 15 years old. A lady couldn't see because the sun was coming in. It was hitting her windshield and it hit her in the middle of the fucking intersection and sent her flying. She was in a mental institute for 9 months after that.
Wow.
She couldn't count anymore. Okay, they put her in a fucking insane asylum. Okay, she's losing her mind. She's on a host of different pills. And it's one of the reasons why she's such a great comic, because she doesn't give a fuck. She's brash, and she just says things like when she first came out, man, people don't remember. But I remember when I was a kid and Roseanne Barr first came out, I think it was a HBO or one of those comedy specials, we got to see her do stand-up. You're like, what is this? This is like a new type of lady comedian.
Yeah.
Like how Kinison was a new
very
type
well.
of male comedian. But it's the same thing. They didn't give a fuck. They had head injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have her on, to tell everybody, hey, you're dealing with someone who's on a host of different medications. They fluctuate. They go back and forth. They're always changing her meds and moving her meds around. Plus she takes Ambien. Plus she smokes weed. Plus she drinks. Like, listen.
A little compassion.
She's a nice
It's
lady.
what Sapolsky talks about. Like, you don't know what's going on in her brain. If you did, you'd be a lot more sympathetic to somebody who's,
He's a huge proponent in the idea of free will being a farce.
Right.
It's not real.
I know.
it's
Sam Harris says that
yes.
too.
Well, the scientists who can look at things from a completely non-emotional level, I see where they're coming from with that.
Well, I do think sometimes I wonder if we're programmed. I don't know what my motivations are, what drives me. I know, like, I think about stand up and how much I love it, and so I'm very guarded of my body, right? Like, just sometimes I just don't want anything to fuck up, so I can keep doing it. Like, the worst thing would happen to me is I couldn't do stand up.
Yeah, I think.
But is that me? Is that I just remember loving making people laugh. There are a whole host of personality characteristics that have been there from the start, if I think back.
Well, it certainly is you.
Yeah.
It certainly is you, and you certainly are responsible for your choices. But also, you are the victim of your circumstances. You are the product or the benefactor of all these years of things happening, all these different events, all the people you know, which is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
This is what I concentrate on, I think, more than anything in my life. The quality of the people around you dictates the quality of your life. And this is an equation that people, for whatever reason, don't put down as significant or primary. But the quality of the people that you have in your life is everything. You could be camping like you and I were in Montana at 9 degrees out with a bunch of great guys, and we had a good fucking time.
Laughing.
We didn't have a house.
No,
we had
laughing.
to stay warm by fire.
Yeah.
But the quality of our life was significant. It was great because the quality of the people that you're around. That's everything, man.
100%.
People that are worried about money or fame or credibility or whatever accolades you think you deserve that you're not getting. The quality of the people that are around you is everything. They drive you. They change your opinions. They challenge you. They show compassion. They show warmth and camaraderie that allows you to be more comfortable with who you are. You open up to each other. I mean, this is everything in this life. Is community.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's most lost when we're dealing with urbanization and large groups of people, one of the things that's most lost is our sense of community. The more people we have, the less value those people have, and the more of a nuisance they become. They're just some fucks ahead of you on the highway.
Right.
They're not human beings with lives and hopes and wishes. They've become a burden. They become locusts.
Yeah.
They're not just a pretty grasshopper. They're fucking, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just an overabundance. And that's what our problem is. And an overabundance and no quality. Like
Right.
no quality in your job choice, no quality in the education that's thrust upon you, no quality in the people that you're running into and your relationships that are on pills and are wacky, distort the truth. They're always a victim. They're never wrong. Like,
Yeah.
Or you could be around a bunch of cool people and your
And
life's
that's
amazing.
what's cool about podcasting, because at least you can listen to people who, positive people.
You should start a podcast called Bryan Callen is Your Friend.
Yes. Hey, kids. Here's my tip for today.
Wasn't that Brody's Twitter handle? Wasn't his Brody is me friend? Yeah.
I might
right
start
there on the wall.
a podcast with me, Sasso, and Dalia. There's a rumor that the 10-minute podcast could start coming.
Why give it 10 minutes? Why don't you guys are just getting warmed up
Hey,
in
bro.
10 minutes.
I know.
Just make it
Sasso and I
hours.
might do one where we start funny. I don't want to go through the
Why
concept.
don't
It's
you
too
just-
top secret, guys.
Why not just go bring back the one with the three of you guys? Why is that so hard?
Maybe that's in the
Just
works,
go
bro.
for hours.
Maybe that's a big secret.
Hey, I
Maybe
got
we're
an
going to
idea.
unveil it. I don't know yet.
I got an idea.
What?
Why don't you do a podcast with Chris D'Elia and Will Sasso?
What?
Yeah.
You can't take credit for that idea,
Hey,
dude.
it's a good idea,
You
right?
don't-
You can have it.
You don't know if it's in the works or not
no,
yet,
you
man.
can have that idea.
All right, I'll think about it.
Just
Now
do
that you mention it,
But
maybe we will.
Put me in the credits. Inspired by Joe Rogan.
100%.
100%.
We'll bring you in. We'll bring you in. Good luck getting a
Imagine
word
being the
in
kind of
edgewise.
person. There are people out there that actually want credit for coming up with an idea that they didn't come up with. There are people out there that want like showrunners, right? That step in after someone's created a pilot and they say, "I want
Yeah.
created by credit."
Seen it.
and then I'll run the show. That
Lived it.
happens. That's,
yeah.
That is one of the most bonkers things you ever
You
see
can have
in
a conversation in a
Hollywood.
goddamn room, and then a year later you got this show, and that person will show up and sue you.
Oh yeah.
And it's happened.
Oh yeah. Well, I knew a dude who submitted a script to a major Hollywood production company. They turned him down, and then they went ahead and made the movie.
Yeah.
And they made the movie. It was a blockbuster with big time stars. He sued them. He won.
He should win.
And he got his name on the movie.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's fair, because people do that all the time. A lot of times, if you're
Yeah,
not
but
a
it's-
writer and you're an executive, you're under so much pressure to come up with an idea. Somebody comes up with an idea, and you're like, "That's a good idea. We could add some shit to it."
Right, but you're supposed to have a deal.
You're supposed to
make a
no,
deal.
it's called "Don't take what doesn't belong to you."
Don't be a fucking thieving cunt.
Don't be a thieving cunt.
The movie was The Expendables.
Yeah, it's very easy.
The guy
to
was
do
he
that.
was a writer for he was a student of Eddie Bravo's.
Really.
Yeah, so I was around when the whole thing was going down.
Wow.
We were all like, "Whoa, they just stole your idea. They just jacked it."
Well, speaking of the Expendables, my new favorite person is
Allegedly, I should say allegedly to all the things I've just said.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true. It could have been a
knows?
big giant lie. Someone was on Adderall and they just started lying to me.
my favorite one. My new favorite person is a guy named Sly Stallone.
Oh,
Did I
you
tell
told me
you-
you went to his house for the fights.
Yeah, but I learned some shit about him. David Blaine showed up, and you got to have him on the podcast. David Blaine showed up and did magic. That
Actually, I
makes
don't.
You,
How about that?
Well, listen,
I don't.
I'll
I could
bring
live the
him.
rest of my life and not have David Blaine on the podcast.
I'm just
I'll
saying.
be fine.
I'm just
I
saying.
think he'd be a great guest.
Yes,
Don't
he
get
would,
me wrong.
and I think you'd like it.
I don't like you telling me what to do.
All right, I'm just saying, bro.
You
Listen,
have to have him on? The fuck is that? Look at that picture.
I told his daughter to take that picture, and I just got because I wanted to jump in while they were all doing that, and it was just
Bro.
me and behind him.
How thick is Stallone's hair? That is preposterous.
It looks fantastic.
How is it still so good?
A couple things about Sly you don't know. Number
How's his
one,
hair so good?
because he's fucking Sly.
Do you think he has someone who does him up before the picture? Like he knows you guys are coming over, so he has his hairdresser puff it all up.
He's
and make it look
he
sexy?
shows up like that and just looks,
I like how he's got the Jay Leno shirt on too.
great fucking sense of humor.
Oh, he does. I interviewed him once for Spike TV.
So funny.
He was hilarious. Someone heckled and he goes, "Hey, Ma."
Oh,
Like,
he's
yeah.
he's got it. And on top of that,
Look at you.
I know, I'm all
Look at your
excited.
picture.
I'm. You think I'm not cool in that group?
Why does
There's
Arnold look so solemn?
Because he was watching the fight. He didn't give a fuck about anybody.
His fight is very important.
But he's also really cool when you talk to him.
I'm sure.
But me and D'Elia goes like this to me. We're sitting there with all those legends, and D'Elia goes like this. He goes, I got weird shit going on in my chest, man. I feel weird. He didn't know what to do with all his.
That's hilarious.
Fucking Frank Grillo was
How
so
about
funny.
that bartender? Like, what about me, man?
Oh my God.
He's trying to poke his head over his
could
shoulder.
do you get any more famous?
Fuck. Imagine being a fly on that wall.
You know what Stallone's really good at besides
What?
horseback riding, world-class horseback rider?
Sucking cock?
No, man.
I just made that up.
No, painting.
Oh, I believe that.
D'Elia, ask D'Elia about it. D'Elia, David Blaine, and Frank Grillo are following him around his house like a couple, like beta, like little puppies, as he's pointing to his insane paintings.
That he's made himself.
Oh, dude.
That's amazing.
Sells them for, I won't even go to how much. I went, how much are you selling for? And the number he gave me, I went, of course. And I looked at Frank, and I went, Frank, I'm a piece of shit.
Wait, first of all, why are you asking him numbers?
Because I asked personal fucking
That's so
questions.
weird.
Because I asked personal
Isn't
questions.
that weird of you?
No, because I wanted one.
Okay, but don't you feel weird saying, "Hey, man, how much money do you make?"
No, I said, if I wanted to buy, like, would you sell these? He goes, yeah. I go, can you give me a ballpark figure? And the ballpark figure, I went, I'll never be able to buy that. But they were so
Don't sell
cool.
yourself short. You should live your life, and your goal should be having enough money so it seems reasonable to buy a Stallone painting.
That's what I
That
want to do.
should be your.
That's why I want to sell out the Wilbur, everybody.
Look at those paintings.
He's a great painter.
That's actually kind of cool. What is that? What's going on
I'm
back
telling
there? Is
you,
that
dude.
an elephant and a clock? That's a dude's back. What
at
is
him.
that?
I don't know,
Hey,
but
yo.
he's a great painter.
This is when I was younger. Ooh.
It's so good.
Is that supposed to be him?
I looked at Grillo and I got mad. I went, hey, I'm a fucking loser. I got to
that's
get
his
myself together. I got to do something
Listen,
else.
man, the guy does a lot of shit. Did he paint himself?
I think it's getting mixed in with pictures
Pictures
of
of him, paintings of him. Yeah. No, he's look, man, the guy wrote Rocky and then would not accept them having anybody else play the character when he was nobody. He's got balls of steel.
Blaine took a video of me listening to him as he read the first page of the Rocky script in his office.
I wish I wasn't there. I would have ran through that wall like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Like, I can't. Boom.
I can't.
I gotta get out of here.
He told us a story about how Joe Frazier came in to audition for it, for the
Whoa.
Apollo Creed thing, and he said, you know, I want, you know, we decided to do some boxing just to have him, you know, because there were going to be fight scenes, and he said I tried. He goes, Frazier started tapping me in different places, and he literally was just like, what the fuck is going? It was like getting caught in a buzzsaw. He's like, wait, this is not going to work in a movie. What the fuck are you doing? And then the same thing with Roberto Duran. He's like, I'll box a little bit. And he said, I started getting hit like in so many different places that I felt like I was in a washing machine. The way he tells the story is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, those guys, they know what. Look at this. This is when I was younger. When I was Rambo.
Oh, the best.
Look at my fucking hair.
With the Italian fucking horn. With the Italian horn.
Look at that fucking hair.
Yeah.
And Peyton.
Yeah,
Interesting.
his daughters are fucking great too.
He's a really fascinating guy. Very unusual guy.
Yeah.
And the thing about him is like he's done so many of these big blockbuster hits that I think people forget that he can actually act. If you go back and watch Rocky 1, you go, "Oh, like this guy's a really good actor."
Yeah, dude.
He was
Yes.
in Rocky 1, man, you got to see like who he was. You know, a young guy.
Well, in First Blood, when he got that script, he's the one who said, because he was a homicidal maniac, the character, and he said, this isn't going to work. He's got to be a killer, but specifically, you can't just kill everybody. He's got to have a philosophy behind why he fucking does this.
He's got to have a purpose.
I love that movie. How great was this movie?
Yeah, that's young, angry, skinny face Stallone.
Fuck.
Look at them cheeks, son.
He was 165, I think, when he made that movie.
I believe it. Yeah. Fascinating character in Hollywood. I mean, you never had a guy with the longevity that Sylvester Stallone has
45
had.
years. 45
He
fucking
is
years.
still making action movies. He's 150,000 years old. He's still making action movies, and you buy it.
Bill Burr was there. He's been there the 2 times I've been there. And Bill,
Bill Burr went to the house?
yeah, he's there every time. So
goodness.
Bill goes, I'm standing like a fucking loser. It's Stallone, it's Schwarzenegger, and I think Pacino, and they're talking. It's my childhood, and I'm standing in that group sort of because I'm
Yeah.
and I'm like this, and I don't want to say anything. I want to say anything just so they'll
Did
accept
you
me.
want to impress them though with some of your esoteric knowledge?
So badly, so badly. I wasn't even listening. I was like, what can I say? Hey, you guys ever read
Chomsky?
Yeah, Chomsky, whatever. Anyway, look, a fucking loser. And
What's
Bill
going
Burr,
on here?
Bill Burr
It's just
walks up behind me. Bill walks up behind
The new Rainbow, I was just playing it so you can see his most recent work.
him riding.
Joey Diaz said that this is Roadhouse on steroids. He goes, Joe Rogan, listen to me. This fucking movie's amazing. He's
I want
like,
to see it.
It's Roadhouse on steroids. It's fucking incredible. You love it. He goes, get high to the fucking gills. Look at this. Oh,
what the fuck,
Guns on
dude?
Rambo. He's gonna kick ass.
He beats all those guys up?
Of course he does.
Dude, that's a lot of guns to have to
Shut
dodge.
your fucking
All
mouth.
right, I don't know, bro.
Shut your mouth.
I'm a fan, but still. I
Look,
don't
he's
know.
drawing a
How
bow
realistic
back
is
and-
this?
Oh, it's 100% realistic. Fuck you, man.
All I
How can
wanna
you even
do-
ask? What do you hate, America?
All I want to do is shoot an explosive arrow.
Sounds like you love those communists that you were talking about.
No, dude, I
Oh,
swear I don't, man.
He booby traps this house and fucks
yeah.
everybody up,
Fucking-
chopping them up. Ah!
Dude, you draw first blood of that
Whoa.
fucking dude, and he'll draw last blood.
He got real lean a few years back, like crazy lean. He was playing this, I think he was playing a hitman. And it was actually a pretty fucking good movie, an interesting movie. Like it didn't get enough credit. Like, what was the...
Bullet to the head.
That's it. Bullet to the Head.
me see that.
Bullet to the Head was a pretty fucking good action movie. But...
Oh, shit.
But look how lean he got.
Oh.
He got like triathlete lean.
Yeah.
Not more
asked
CrossFitter.
I
More
asked him-
CrossFitter lean.
I asked him if he had any injuries from all the things. He goes to his phone and
Did everything wrong.
showed me his spine
Yeah.
and all the operations. I mean, he's been through.
I got fucking bolts on my neck like Frankenstein.
Is that Jason Momoa? I think it is.
I hope it is.
Hey, I'm watching this
Right,
fucking movie as
right
soon as I
there.
get home.
Yeah, of course. Who else is allowed to be that big and handsome?
Dude.
Only Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa is the best looking man on the planet.
I think he is in this movie. With
I
him.
want to look like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was not that long ago, but it was a good movie, like a good, solid, action movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, I'm a Stallone fan. I've been watching that guy's movies forever. But what I liked about this, it's a Walter Hill film too. What I liked about this movie was, I mean, not just liked about it, but that Stallone got like super crazy lean.
Yeah.
Like he was, he looked like he was only
Christian
like 170
Slater.
pounds.
Slater.
There you go, buddy. Full star
Bill
cast.
Burr walks up to me right behind me as I'm listening to these guys trying to get into the
Mr.
conversation.
Little Toes.
And he goes like this. He goes, "Hey, you've been here for an hour already. Get over it." He just keeps walking.
Bill's the
It's
best.
So great. Bill told me that he's
the
he's going
best.
to start working out. He called me up. He goes, "Hey, dude, you fill out a medium sweater. You look good. I'm coming for that title, you piece of shit." And just hung up. He can never say anything nice. He goes, we came off stage one time at the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory. He was so funny and so good. And I go, "I think you're the best right now, period. I love you. I think you're the best. And I have to say it. And I'm a professional comic and I'm pretty funny myself. And I'm saying it from you. And if I'm saying it, I'm right. So that's how it is." And I walked away from him. Got a message. He goes, "Hey, Bri, I got to tell you, the shit you were doing was killing me. I loved it. Coming from you, that meant a lot to me. I just want to thank you because I've been, I had this fucking gig, didn't go well. It was just tough for me, but just hearing that from you was fucking because you're hilarious. I love you. Thank you. And go fuck yourself, though, because I can't be nice for too long." I saved the message for a long time.
He's a fucking character, man.
Oh, God.
There's so many good comics right now. It's such a good time.
Hell yeah.
We're lucky as fuck.
And we're all friends.
Yeah, that's what's interesting, right?
Yeah, man.
In those Kinnison days we were talking about, like Dice and Kinnison fucking hated each other, man.
Yeah, there's none of that
There's a
shit.
bullet hole in the sign in the back parking lot because Kinnison pulled out a gun and shot the fucking sign to scare Dice off.
Jesus Christ. That's impulsive.
That fucking sign had a hole in it forever.
I remember.
And they fixed the glass part. I'm like, why
Sucks.
would you fix it?
It's crazy to fix
Don't
it.
fix it.
I know.
That crack is magical, man.
is.
That's where Kinnison shot through. That's part of the fun.
I agree.
I think the bullet hole's still in the back, though. You still feel the bullet hole.
The podcasting, and probably yours for the most part, has changed.
There it is.
Comedy
There's the
Store.
hole. Look at that.
Yeah, I remember it so well.
The fucking Kinnison bullet hole, son.
Damn.
And that's head injuries, kid.
Yeah.
I know all about that stuff.
Carrying a gun.
That's what made him a great... It's almost like you have to be sick in the head to be that funny.
I know. I'm going to get into shooting, by the way. I saw you were at
Come.
that. I want to do that for real.
Okay, let's go next week.
First of all, I need to learn how to shoot
I'll
with
take
both my
you.
eyes open
I'll take you.
because I got to get ready for the apocalypse.
Dude, it's fun.
Bang.
I'll take you down to Terran Tactical. We'll go through a course.
I box, I do jiu-jitsu, I take
You're an
testosterone sooner, and I
animal.
fucking shoot
Oh
guns.
my God, you're crazy.
I'm a fucking man.
Hey, how long do you think you can hang from a chin-up bar?
We're gonna go try.
How long do you think you can?
I'm gonna say, because I don't practice it, I'm gonna say no more than a minute, but I'm gonna try.
Really, a minute?
I don't know. You don't? Are you skeptical? Remember, I could do a lot of pull-ups.
No,
And
I can do more than a minute. I do 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's a long fucking time. You've been
Yeah.
practicing it. Don't tell me otherwise.
I've been dedicated to
Okay.
it over the last 2 months.
All right. So now I'm gonna do it.
I usually was doing a couple minutes a day, but I was breaking it up into like 30-second chunks, or maybe I'd go a minute. And then I decided about 2 months ago to see how long I could hold on for.
It's good for your shoulders, they say.
What helps me is if I hold on for like 15, 20 seconds and I rest for a long time. And then I go back and do it. I could do it a lot longer.
So I should warm
That's
up
how I
for
got,
it.
yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this.
And
Are
I
you-
powder my hands too. I chalk my hands up. That's big too.
I'm doing that too.
Because your hands get sweaty and then it fucks with your grip.
No, let me ask you this: Are you, when you hang, do you have tension or are you totally loose?
Totally loose.
You are.
Yes, but one trick that I do when I start getting really tired is I tense up.
Yes.
So I squeeze the bar harder and I start doing these. When
Right.
you go that and then
Okay.
let down. I go up and then let down. It almost like it's distracting
Yes.
me from the fact that my hands are burning out.
Okay.
And I feel like it also engages, like maybe almost like a different way of holding it that gives you like a little bit of a break. Not much of a break. You're still hanging on.
There goes the podcast, because all I'm thinking about now is doing that.
Yeah, it's
I worked out today with
Here's
him.
the thing: it's made my hands thicker. Like
Yeah.
it's harder for me to get my wedding ring off because my fingers are actually getting thicker.
I worked
from
out with
hanging
I worked out with my friend Rudy Reyes. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Bring up Rudy Reyes.
What did he do to you, Brian?
Don't worry about it. Let's take a look at his body for a
Make
second.
you
He's
do
48
squats.
years old. Please understand what he's
Did
about.
he make you get pumped?
We worked kettlebells, bro, and we
Ooh.
did some body weight.
Oh, you told me that this is like the first time you've ever really worked kettlebells, right?
Yes, sir.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's what's up.
Fuck.
It's what I love.
Well, this is the second time, and I was sore.
It really, for me, is the best thing that translates into jiu-jitsu. There's something about, like, if you have, like, a 50 or 70-pound kettlebell, and you're clean and pressing it and do windmills and all
Yeah.
that to me, is, like, that really works for
No,
jiu-jitsu.
that's
That
not a
guy's
good. No, you got to see him now.
jacked. What are you talking about? I don't want him to look better than that.
No, he couldn't be better looking. It's
I don't
annoying.
like it.
Look at him there. With
I'm
you
uncomfortable.
gotta have him. You gotta have him with his beard. That's my boy right there.
It's getting
Recon Marine.
Jesus.
Like, yeah.
Getting
He's-
kind of fat.
No, his body's so stupid.
a little fat.
You got to see the chest. Let's get him
Dude,
naked.
look at his shoulder. Stop right there. Pause. Like back up a little bit. Look at the striations in his shoulder. That dude is like 4% body fat.
Yeah. It's stupid. Let's go ahead and get him naked, bro.
What, he can't get down to 2? Come on, bro.
I've never
You ain't
seen a
got it
body
in
like
you?
this. It's me and Stevie Blue Eyes. Everybody else, we're always like, well, that's what I want to look like.
You want to see it naked?
No, I didn't say that out loud.
Is it on his Instagram? Does he take thirst pics?
Yeah,
Let's see
of
the
course he
first one. Is
does.
that Cheeto Santino and him at the top? No. Look at you guys together.
Go over-
I
go
don't like
over.
how he's hugging you. I'm getting jealous. I don't like that picture.
know.
Go to that picture again with him and you together. Look at that. I don't like how he's hugging you.
Look at me. I look like a fucking old nurse.
I don't like how he's hugging you. He's hugging you like he's going to take you down and butt fuck you.
He will.
Seems like he's gonna.
I was there with
If
a
I
bunch
guessed, I would think like this kept going. You'd have a look on your face of shock,
Yeah.
and then his wrist would be cinched tighter in your waist, and then next thing you see, like one of your legs is up in the air.
Oh, there you go. Do the kung fu thing.
The one on the right of that.
Yeah, for no reason. Oh,
Let's see.
oh, Jay!
He's doing kung fu with bands.
Just for the fuck of it.
If he started a cult, you know how many chicks he could bang?
Oh, dude, that's what
With that
he looks
body?
like. That's what he looks
Look at
like.
that. If that guy was like with wooden beads on, teaching people how to meditate, just slinging dick in a jungle somewhere.
Yes.
Right? He
Dude.
pulls up to the class in a canoe, and all the girls are waiting for him with beads on.
Yep.
Like, class, let's begin.
Yup. He
We
wears,
begin with breathing.
He wears scarves. The only guy, he's more muscular than Frank Grillo. He's sexier than Frank Grillo, which is impossible to pull off.
The tights are suspect.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
liking the tights.
I'll wear them.
Just seems weird. Like, why do you have tights on? And
I don't
no
know,
shirt?
dude, but it doesn't
It's an
matter
odd
because he's
choice.
Rudy Reyes, and I'm doing that from
It's
now
an
on.
odd choice. It's an odd choice for a grown man who's not in a yoga class.
Well,
What are you doing? Are you a gymnast? Huh?
yeah,
What are you
maybe.
doing? Little
He does
spats?
all that shit. He
You
does
doing
rings.
jujitsu?
He does all that shit.
Jesus.
We got to get serious, bro.
About what?
I don't know.
Everything? About our
You know what's
dance-off.
fucking pathetic at 52? Still talking about working out, still trying to get better and stronger.
disagree.
I can't wait to go on
I disagree.
testosterone.
Listen, I enjoy everything that I do.
Me
I
too.
enjoy every part of like being a man.
I do,
It's
too.
fun.
I know.
It's fun. So if it keeps going, why is that weird? I like it. I liked it when I was 30. I like it now.
But I want the David Sinclair drugs. I want to be fucking.
You gotta get some.
I want to figure out how to have the wind of a 30-year-old. My body's betraying me.
Whitney told me she started taking NAD. She's been taking NAD injections. Jamie, there's a place that hooks that up, right?
What is
You say?
NAD?
That's a good question. I'd butcher it. But you can take it in pill form, too, which I've been doing.
Oh, you have?
What is it? Yes.
Oh, is that what he was talking about, Sinclair? Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff that people are taking, though, that actually it supposedly maybe increases your lifespan but decreases performance. That's that metformin stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, there's a lot of controversy with that. Like, as soon as we did that podcast, people that I know that are more into the performance side of athletics and nutrition and well-being, they were like,
Yeah.
that stuff is not really.
I talked to my
what you wanna
doctor
be
about it.
taking.
He said your blood work doesn't look like you would need it.
Nicotinamide adenine
Dinucleotide.
dinucleotide. Wow. Say the first word.
Nicotinamide,
adenine
dinucleotide. It's a problem with being a doctor and a scientist. You have to remember all that fucking Latin.
Why is that? It may slow or even reverse the aging process. What does it say, Jamie? Put it back up. Reverse the aspects of aging, also delay the progression of age-related diseases. Holla at your boy. If Whitney goes back in time, starts looking like she's 20, you know it works.
She looks pretty damn good.
She looks pretty good.
Yeah.
She's doing it every day, too.
I love Whitney.
She's awesome.
I fucking love her as a
She's one of the
person.
smartest people I know.
I just love her.
And one of the most well-read. Like, she's always bringing up some book she read.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's always curious about shit. It's that's so important in this life. It's just to constantly. But when you stop being curious about things, you just kind of go. Bleh.
I know. She fucking shoots me when I don't realize I'm being shot. Like she's videotaping me when I'm doing my usual silly shit in the green room, but I don't. And I'm just like the other day I was coming in and I was like, the thing is I shoot guns down, and then. And I'm doing this fucking weird, acting like a complete idiot. And she's videotaping the whole fucking thing and then puts it on her story. I'm like, Whitney.
Of course.
Whitney. When are we going hunting? Why
When do
don't
you
you
wanna
take
go?
me hunting?
Well,
Yeah,
because you're not really fully committed.
bullshit. I'm there. Number one, I'm dead eye. Number two, I make you laugh. Number three, I'm game eye.
I'm 100% down to go hunting with you. You don't have to convince me. But the difference is, I do it for all my meat now, and I bow hunt.
I need meat too, bro.
Listen, we started out together, Brian, in
Yeah.
2012. We hunted together for the first time.
Okay.
And you went one way, and I went another way.
You went the bow and arrow way, and you
Well, it's
bought
also,
me a bow.
I went the I do it all the time
How about
way.
this? Remember this?
I didn't buy you a bow. Hoyt paid for that bow. Hoyt got you that bow.
I thought you got it.
No, I organized it. I had it sent to you.
I've never shot it.
You should have shot it. It's old now.
I got to bring it here.
Got to get a new one.
My dad was like, you and Joe Rogan look very similar, like brothers. I was
Easily.
like, well, we basically are.
Well, we were in Wikipedia for most of our lives.
I know.
Until somebody figured it out.
Fuckers. Fuckers.
It said half brother to Bryan Callen on my
know.
Wikipedia bio forever.
And people always say, your brother's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about this, but the moment we met, we're like, oh, fellow idiot.
I know.
How are you, traveler?
Greatest. It's the greatest. Oh, yeah, I got to do it all. I got to jiu-jitsu, boxing. If I don't, I'll end up in jail. I was like, well, that sounds like my kind of guy.
Both dummies. We both had pit bulls. We were both dummies.
Oh, my God.
Super duper
You picked me
dummies.
up so early in the morning. I was like, I want a dog just out of the box. Dude, I look good with a beard. Look at that. And a shotgun.
That's turkey hunting. Turkey hunting's fun because it's like, I swear to God, there's a feeling that you get when you kill an animal that's not. It's not a happy feeling. It's
I agree.
There's a remorse
Yep.
that is it's like engulfing the happiness. Like there's happiness, but there's also like a remorse.
I get serious. I get
There's
sad.
no remorse when you blast a turkey. I'm here to tell you. I shot a turkey in the head. I felt nothing. Not only that, I put it on Instagram. Nobody gave a fuck. I was holding that turkey up by its feet. I'm like,
Yep.
shot a turkey. Nobody cared.
I know.
No vegans care about
No.
turkeys.
They should die.
And if you're around them, you care about them even less.
Well, everything wants to kill a turkey to the point where you have to cover your face because otherwise they're like, ah, and they run away.
Look at the size of the one Steve got. That's a big turkey.
That's what I call a big fucking tom.
Yeah, it's a big ass turkey, man.
I love
Jesus.
using hunting terminology around hunters so they think I'm a more seasoned hunter than I really am.
They're a cool animal. turkey's a cool animal, man. It really is.
Really?
It's interesting. It's a bird that kind of flies but doesn't.
Yeah, it'd be the last bird I would choose to be.
They go up in a tree.
Yeah,
But
forest
that's
fowl.
about it. They can just barely make it to a tree.
Got to worry about coyotes, foxes,
everything. You got to worry about everything. Everything wants to eat you. Everything. You know.
Even probably other birds.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, dude, this my kids found in my neighborhood. They found a fucking. My son goes, Daddy, there's a bird that's dead, and I go there, and it was a dove with no head. And its chest had been eaten out clearly by a bird of prey. Yeah, or an owl.
Ooh.
We have a big owl in the neighborhood. Owls don't
dude.
fuck around.
I had an owl that was killing hawks in my neighborhood.
What?
Yeah, these hawks were all beheaded. And this
There you
owl
go.
just decided to start fucking up these hawks. There is one of the best videos that I've ever seen online of animal interactions where an owl swoops down and snatches a hawk out of its nest. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, they got
No.
a camera on this nest of hawks.
So they kill hawks.
They kill whatever the fuck they want. Give a hoot, don't pollute. Listen, that thing's a ruthless fucking killer.
Kill cats too.
They kill everything.
Yeah.
Cats, rabbits.
Yeah.
One of them, I was driving down the street to my house, and I was driving, and this owl was like flying over the street holding a rabbit, and just decided I was getting too close to him, so he just let the rabbit go and splat. So I got out of the car to look at the rabbit, just disemboweled rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Just tore this fucking thing apart.
Oh, yeah.
But this video, it was on my Instagram. It's night vision, and you see these hawks just hanging out in the nest. Like, oh well, I guess look at this. Guess we'll just be here for the night. No,
I didn't-
look at the
I've
eyes.
seen
Look at the
this.
eyes. Look at the eyes.
I didn't know
Look
that
at this.
these were hawks.
Bitch!
Oh!
And the other one's like, hey, what the fuck happened?
No.
What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? One more time. Watch. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes
Look
in the
at how
distance.
quick.
See the eyes? Look at that. Here it comes. Bitch. I love that video. It says
that's-
owl attacks hawk. You can find the video online on YouTube. Enjoy. Owl attacks hawk.
And you can find me at the Wilbur
That's
Theater.
all. Oh, are you doing comedy on New Year's Eve at the Wilbur
No,
Theater
dude, I don't
in
want to
Boston?
talk about that, but I mean, I'll be if you're
Do you have a whole new hour?
I do have a whole new hour.
Wait a minute.
I
So you're
know.
going to do comedy on New Year's Eve in Boston?
At the Wilbur.
Oh my goodness, people!
And I'll be there. I'll be in Arizona this Saturday at the Celebrity Theater. If
I
you want
love
to
the
come
Celebrity
by.
Theater. It's in the Round.
Yeah,
That's a great place.
I'm
That's
excited.
That spins too a little bit, right?
I didn't know that.
I think it does a slow spin.
I gotta be
think-
ready.
I think you can turn it on or off. I think it's
Wow.
up to you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Celebrity Theater spins.
All right.
Find out if that's true. George Lopez did
be there
a
tomorrow.
special. No, Louis C.K. did a special there. I think Lopez might have done something there too, but that's a great
excited.
theater. It's cool. It's intimate, even though it's like a couple thousand people. There it
Oh,
is.
there it is. Get
Bang.
the fuck out of here.
See, I think
Wow.
that thing
Oh,
rotates.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I think that thing
John
rotates.
Holgram's, he's that radio guy. He's a great guy, and it's his happy endings thing.
That's the first place I ever met Segura.
Really?
Yeah, I worked with Segura on the. There was a tour I did with Charlie Murphy and John Heffron, and we had a different local guy open up in every place, and Segura opened up there. That's how I became buddies
Wow.
with him. Yeah,
Funny man.
he's the best. There it is. Bryan Callen's in Phoenix.
Look at that
with
right there.
Frank
kids.
Caliendo and Adam Ray.
That's
a crazy lineup.
Uh-huh.
Are you gonna spin it if they let you spin it? Find out if that thing spins.
Look at this,
Does
look at
the
this, look at this, look at
circle
this. Chris D'Elia goes, hey, everyone, don't go to this. It's such a dick. He said the first fucking thing on my thing, hey, everyone, don't go to this.
Your fake feud with him is very strange.
It's so
When
much
you guys
fun.
make videos about each other.
So he did the
All the
podcast
time.
yesterday. It was the funniest thing in the world, the most insulting. One time we were doing the podcast and he was just lying there and I go, be respectful and sit the fuck up. And I started talking and he just got up and he slapped me in my mouth. And I was like, I'll fucking kill you. And I came at him and he started going, he tried to kiss me. It was like kryptonite.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
He's from outer space.
Yeah,
Me and Will Sass always say he's from outer space. There it is. Look.
Wow, he smacked you right in the face. Funny motherfucker, man.
Hilarious.
And a great guy, too.
best.
Just a good dude. I like being around him. He's fun.
Yeah, these are my inner circle.
Well, we're all weirdos, right? He's a weirdo. Like, he's a unique
You
weirdo.
reminded me of what misfits we are because I wanted to do this idea where I was like, I was going to do this thing for On It where we're going to come up with funny ways to sell product. Thought it'd be a good way to recruit some comics and get them a job, sit
Right.
around a table and create like a marketing thing. And None of them. Like 2 of them got back to me. Everybody else is like, sorry, I didn't have time. They're just fucking misfits.
Misfits.
Like, you can make real money, you fucking idiot. Nah.
Too tired.
Too tired. Too
Gotta
high.
get up.
Too high.
Got to show at the Laugh Factory
Yeah,
in 2 hours.
fuck off.
Can't make it.
That's why you're
Sorry.
funny. That's why you're funny. All right.
Yeah, that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of people are funny because of the fact that they, they're impulsive. They don't have discipline, and they just, That's part of what makes them funny is that just
self-loathing.
They're also wild. They're wild people. They're not good at like being disciplined and rigid and on a schedule that they create themselves. Like,
Can't like yourself. I would tell you that my acting. I was in Jeffrey Tambor's class and doing an acting thing, and Jeffrey Tambor looked at me and goes, "You got a little self-esteem problem, huh? Feel like you're second banana in general in life?" And some guy goes, "Thank God." And everybody looks up at him and he goes, "Well, he wouldn't be funny if he didn't hate himself, so I'll take him this way." Never forgot it. I was like, yeah, all right.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to like yourself that much. I think you should always be a little dissatisfied with yourself. It works for me.
Yeah, I don't think you should be satisfied very often if you want to be good at anything.
I'm
'Cause I think
fulfilled,
you're on a path, right? You're on an improvement and growth path. You're trying to get better, whatever it is. It's tennis, right? You're trying to get better at it all the time.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't, if you want to get better at it all the time, you got to be scrutinizing. You can't be happy about certain moments where you were really good and think that's you. You got to be thinking about the things that didn't go good and go, I got to fix that part.
There's
I gotta
that
fix this.
famous story, whether it's true or not, but I think it is. Rafael Nadal had just won Wimbledon, one of the greatest of all time. You ever see him play? Like his athleticism, his power. He hits the ball so hard that the ball, I can't remember if this is, the ball revolves twice as fast. It makes twice as many revolutions as the average high-level tennis player. That's how hard, that's how much spin it is. Like it's 80 versus 40 or something. And he got up and he just won Wimbledon. It's amazing. And he's back in the locker room going, I don't know if my grip should have been a little bit, I feel like I think I'm going to change. That it's still adjusting after he won.
You have to be.
Yeah.
That's how you get to be that guy.
Yes.
And as soon as you get to be that guy and you go, I got it, then you're going
done.
to fall off.
You're done.
That happens to
Don't
everybody.
you feel stand-ups that way too, though?
100%.
Well,
what we were talking about with Kinnison, right?
Yeah.
Kinnison, when he was on fire, he was longing for acceptance and longing for respect and attention. And he was going to take it.
Yeah.
He just went out there fucking guns blazing like an animal. But then once he got it, he's partying with Bon Jovi and Motley Crue, and they're doing blow and fucking on the tour bus and, drinking vodka till 5 a.m. All that chaos. It's just, it stops being the same thing. Life is now, you're celebrating the fact that you're the shit instead of you're desperate to make the best work you can make.
Desperate's a word. I talked to this, I won't say his name, but a famous rock and roller who made what's
Elton John?
But may as well be. But the guy,
Mick Jagger?
he made a seminal album, like an album that's a classic album. And I said, what do you think it was? He goes, I was just so desperate to be heard. I was desperate to be heard. And then you get older and you get rich and you kind of prove that you can do it and you lose. Bob Dylan talks about that. He goes, I don't know who wrote those songs. Like I don't remember. Like they said they read his lyrics back and he said, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Like who did that? Not me. I don't know. I can't do that anymore. That's a fear of mine. I want to stay hungry and
Well, with stand-up, the difference is you can't just go back and redo your old songs.
No.
You have to constantly be relevant.
Yeah.
You have to have stuff that works right now. And the people can't have heard it too many times. It's not like songs. Like I still want to hear, like if you went to see the Rolling Stones, you'd want to hear Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
You'd want to hear it.
Yeah.
And there's songs that are just iconic and they give you a good feeling when you hear them.
Yep.
Not jokes.
No, man.
No.
Jokes.
I appreciate old comedy. Like I go back and watch it with like I'm watching art or something like that. I'm watching someone's work and I can appreciate it, but I don't appreciate it from like the feeling that you get when you see it the first time and you laugh and you're surprised and the punchlines come out and you're like, bah!
I was surprised that Bill Cosby had only done one album.
What?
Yeah. 1 or 2 albums. I was really shocked at that. I was like, I thought he'd done like 14 or something.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Did mostly what he did was videos?
I guess. I don't know. He was just...
Didn't he have like albums of his videos though?
I don't know.
Really?
We looked it up and
little?
I was like, I thought he'd done like 14 or 15 albums.
He found a lot.
How many?
I don't know. I just typed in Bill Cosby albums. He's got 3 separate vinyls.
So
Just
3
throughout the game. I mean,
albums,
there's
3 vinyls, and some other stuff.
1963, 77, 2004, 70, 71, 67, 68, 76.
All right, so much for that.
Oh, he had a lot.
Whoops.
Me and Shab looked it up, and we were like, we only find.
Well, you guys are morons, and you don't know how to Google. Jamie's a wizard.
Jamie, you're good. Hey, fucking Chin, get it
called
together.
type Cosby
hey,
correctly.
Chin, get it the fucking get it.
Yeah,
It was like
you guys
one.
didn't even type Cosby right.
God damn it.
He, Bill Burr and I were supposed to go see him before the scandal hit. We were supposed to go see him. We were going to make a trip to go see him in Vegas, and I think Bill wound up seeing him another time.
Oh, look at this.
after
Hold on.
that.
Well, come on. Hey, man.
Seems
That's what I
like
thought. That's what I
about
said.
20 albums.
I said, and then I got.
He's got music albums, dude. He's got 1, 2. Stop. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What?
Yeah, it's like 17 music albums.
No. That he
This
sings?
This is crazy. Look at all these music albums,
20-ish. Yeah, marching band,
bro.
concerts.
He had music albums.
So 12 albums. More than that.
Wait, no, we have way more,
13,
man.
14,
Way more.
15, 16, 17,
Five.
You
18,
couldn't
19,
have been more wrong, and yet
21.
you stated it
21.
so confidently.
21.
Chin, you're fired.
God damn it. Because I said this, and then
Yeah.
we'd only find one, and I was so embarrassed. I rarely get
Well,
embarrassed.
now
I
you're
was like,
embarrassed again. That's what's really a shame.
No, I was right. No, because I was right the first time, so fuck off. Edit that out. Edit all that out.
I see what you did. I see what you did. He's got a bunch of Grammys too.
Yeah.
You get to keep those, even after you're in jail for rape.
Yeah.
Sure.
Only person ever, like, OJ was supposed to lose his Heisman, and they can't find it, I think. Or
Oh, that's
remember?
right.
Yeah.
He's like, can't
I
find
don't
it.
know where it went.
Hey, Twitter world, can't find my Heisman.
Yeah.
His Twitter feed is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Watching because he does it different than anybody. Everything is hey Twitter world, and everything is about football. It's like it's all about like what this guy needs to do, and obviously he knows a lot about football. He's a fucking world class player.
One of the best of all time.
But in the comments are where the real show is. The comments is all knife emojis, and you really killed that one, OJ. And it's like everyone takes their own crack at him in the comments.
God damn. What's he doing now? I wonder if he's
Playing golf and
Sell merch.
oh my god, he's selling merch. There should be like a hidden knife in there somewhere. You know, like an angle where like Sierra's legs are crossed. There should be like something at the bottom when if you look at the silhouette, it looks like a knife. Hey, Twitter world, look at this.
Holiday juice or something.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I wonder if he makes
He's
money.
going to sell out. Well, I don't think he can spend it.
What do you mean?
He owes the Goldmans a large sum of money from a civil case.
Right.
They can't get the money out of his pension, because he's got an NFL pension.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I think why he moved to Florida. Like Florida has certain laws that protect you. Now he's in Nevada, I think. There's places that have like different laws to protect you from lawsuits where your pension is protected. You never have to worry about being broke because of a lawsuit. And
He's paid a serious price for all that.
2 people are dead, Brian.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that serious. He's out there playing golf and going, hey, Twitter world.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really even charged with that. He was charged with kidnapping.
Yeah.
What's funny is that he's allowed to be on Twitter. Whereas, like, think about some of the people that have been banned for Twitter for saying things like a woman is never a man or a man is never a woman. Like, you get banned
That's
for that.
amazing to me.
Dead naming. If you call Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, that's dead naming Caitlyn, and then you are banned for life from Twitter.
Is that really true?
100%. 100%.
Where did this all come from? Where we're that hyper?
What we were talking about earlier with people getting mad at someone for saying Merry Christmas.
But you had
That's the
Jack
exact
Dorsey on.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey does not want this. Jack Dorsey is calling for some sort of a decentralized version of Twitter.
Yeah.
He was talking about it when he was here, like having a Wild West Twitter where everything goes.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. And Jack is a very internet-minded guy. Here's the thing you have to understand when you're talking about being the CEO of something that is literally responsible for billions of pieces of information
It's
every
hard.
single day.
He doesn't control
He's
everything.
managing at scale.
Yeah.
He's a CEO of a company that he's under pressure to make more profit. It's not as simple as anybody would like to think, and it's not like he can say, "Hey, I think no one should ever be banned," and he can just go ahead and do that. He doesn't have the power to do that.
No.
He has the power to suggest it. He has the power to give his opinion. There's a lot of moving pieces.
course.
A lot of moving.
How does
pieces.
he make money? How does Twitter make money?
It's a good question. I don't know.
How do you scale that?
I don't know. I worry very little. I don't think about it. I kind of like it. I want it to stay around.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. But I'm 100% convinced that with the implementation of AR, augmented reality, whether it's through Apple or someone's going to have glasses, I think anything we're doing now is literally like the MySpace of the future in terms of technological interaction. I think the stuff we're doing right now is all like MySpace. Like, it's not going to be here.
So what do you think we're going to be doing?
I think we're going to be doing something with AR. We're going to be interacting with each other in some sort of a
AI
weird way.
or AR?
Augmented reality.
So what does that mean?
Glasses with like Minority Report type shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna have glasses where you're gonna have things in front of you. You can access menus and pull downs with. You can make gestures and you could say things. It'll Google things in front of your eyes. You're gonna be able to. Here's a real thing.
Cool.
People are gonna. This is something that I think was in a movie, but it's probably would work. That people would have a social score that you would see when you're coming near them.
Yeah.
Like a cursor. Like
That's very scary to
right.
me.
You know how like you go on a link and there's like a bunch of restaurants and you could put the cursor over it and a little Yelp box pops up and it says it has 4 stars and 400 reviews and you can go, like that pops up. Yeah. That could be you.
Yeah.
It could pop up like the kid, 52 years old, still fucks like a teenager, and it'll say,
Thank you.
And people could walk by and go, interesting.
On TRT.
He's a bit of a Peter Pan, is he?
Well,
you know what I mean?
You
Like,
already have that with Uber. Uber can see how you're rated by the drivers. So you have a rating.
Oh, that's interesting.
So in a way, it's interesting because it's making us. You can't hide behind like assholes are getting exposed. Like it's making us more nicer to each other. But it's also a form of. It's kind of a prison.
Yeah.
You've got to always behave. Everybody's watching everything you do.
Now, well, this is the new world, and we have to adjust to this new world. Because in the future, there will be no barriers between people and information.
Right.
Those barriers are dissolving in front of our eyes, and people are scrambling to try to accept it or not accept it or fight against it or keep up. But it is. But it is. It's not. You can't deny what it is. It is. It is real. It's happening. And it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep getting weirder. Like, we didn't see Twitter coming.
No.
We didn't see the internet coming. We didn't see cell phone implementation on a global scale coming.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought you were going to carry a phone with you everywhere you go 30 years ago.
No.
That was never even the concept.
No.
So you got 30 years, which is a blink of an eye in human history. 30 years later, everyone's got a goddamn phone. They are literally everywhere. 30 years from now, it's probably going to become some next level shit.
Well, it'll be part of our body. We're not going to carry a phone around. But also, I think it's interesting because it'll almost be like if everybody was naked all the time, nudity would be no big deal.
Unless you have a little tiny dick.
Until you'd have a little tiny dick, and that would be,
That's
and
a
even
bummer.
then you'd find your niche.
Would
But-
you really?
Well,
I always say, like, even if you have a little tiny dick, a lot of lesbians get hot girls.
yeah, man.
You could just find
There are
a
girls that don't care.
I
There
don't
are girls
believe
that
that
don't
either.
want to deal with my 9-inch piece. You know what I'm saying?
9?
I know, and my personality and my money. If you're into that,
Is
I'm
it
your
thick
guy.
like a snake?
That's what the media says. I'm not
Does it-
going to describe my
Does
piece.
it attack?
I mean, he's got lungs. You can see him breathe, and he's got a crook so I can fuck around corners.
You should get it painted like an anaconda.
I'd love to, man.
Imagine if you got your dick tattooed like an anaconda.
Joe Rogan experience.
Has anybody get their dick tattooed? Like, I
course.
know people have, but has anybody had like a really good one done?
What would I do though? The American flag? I don't know what I'd fucking.
Whenever anyone gets their dick tattooed, it's always like a fucking dragon or something like that.
What was that joke?
The ears are here where my
Yeah,
balls are,
yeah.
but the dragon, the tip of the nose is red. Blah.
You want something that says like that joke where it's like when it's soft it says tiny and when it's hard it says Ticonderoga, New York. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
That's like that idea.
There's
It expands.
that's the future. You know, tattoos on your face weren't around back in
Yeah,
the day.
I
Nobody
know.
had like fucking Post Malone. Post Malone in the 1970s, they'd just lock him in jail. There's something wrong with this kid. Why are you drawing on your face?
Still the dumbest, craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, always tired on his face.
I know.
Great musician though.
Yep.
Really talented guy,
I
but like,
understand that
hey,
idea.
cut that out. But like, my point is that didn't exist in the 1960s, right?
Yeah.
What about dick tattoos? Like, what if that becomes a norm? What if a girl like takes your pants down in the future and just like, you don't even have your dick tattooed up?
Well, I thought for a while. First of all, I'll tell you what it has changed. I think young men manscape. They shave all the hair off there.
Is that guy real?
I typed in face tattoos 1960s and just saw it come up, and this comes up.
Well, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that
He's got
guy's
like
crazy.
birds on his forehead and a Jesus
Yeah, he's out
on
of
his
his
forehead.
mind.
Is that real though?
Probably.
I mean, for sure somebody did it.
Yeah, but
If you can imagine, but it's never been as common as it is now,
No.
particularly for show business. Imagine if like Fred Astaire had face tattoos, you know. That girl's what she got on her cheek there, man.
Harry Styles.
No, that's not real, though.
She doesn't.
It wasn't real.
It's not real.
How do you know?
Because
It's
it
like
was
a viral story a couple months ago.
Oh, it is fake?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a drawing? Even though if it's a drawing, who cares? It's still crazy that she let a guy draw on her face. Honey, that's your cheek. Don't tolerate that kind of shit in your life. Well, there's a lot of people getting face tattoos
Well,
now,
when the game was posting pictures of his huge dick in underwear, you ever see that?
We talked about another dude's giant dick in underwear
They had to
recently.
take it out of cats apparently in some way with CGI.
His hog?
Yeah.
Because it's that big?
I guess.
Oh, bro,
Congratulations.
he's got it. We'll take a look at
It's
this.
not the game.
And he goes,
We're talking about somebody else.
oh,
The guy in Cats that was on Instagram.
he had a piece on
But
him?
giant piece on him. And Instagram took the photo down because they're like, this is too sensitive. Because he's just got a giant hog and he's in his underwear. And black underwear, by the way. There it is right there. Look at that piece.
That's a
Woo!
dick. Hold on.
Here's the thing.
Congratulations,
That
first of all.
dude was playing with himself before that.
Probably.
100%.
Come on, man.
I'm not hating it. Listen, man, put in work.
You put in work. Now,
But the game has a giant dick as
have
well.
you seen the video? Have you seen the picture he posted?
No, I try to avoid pictures of
Well,
dudes' dicks.
I think it's
know
important
that's your
right
favorite
now.
thing to look at.
No,
but
that's not. That's fake
it's
news.
like what you go to all the time.
Fake fucking news,
I thought
dude.
That's your go-to thing.
All right.
There
That's
it
your
is.
opinion.
Whoa.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
outrageous.
And I
She
thought,
does it a lot.
I thought men are going to start doing this now.
Jesus, how many pictures of his hog does he have?
I
out
don't
there?
know, but it said something hilarious. He goes,
Jesus Christ, is that real?
yeah, that would be real.
Well, listen, if I had a dick that big, I'd let everybody know too.
I mean, he's grabbing his dick.
Bro, that dick is pretty preposterous.
Yeah.
That's preposterous.
Yeah. So there you go. That's his dick.
What in
Lots
the
of
hell?
hashtags for it and shit too.
Yeah.
Crazy, like something about. It was really funny though. He said something about Halloween, but don't just be afraid of this dick. Don't worry about ghosts. Some shit. Be afraid of this dick.
Is that what it says?
Yeah,
I
something.
feel like we might have read
Yes,
this before.
we have.
Get
yeah,
dick
that's
and
right.
chill.
Now I remember. That's right. Now I remember.
By the way,
that looks
congratulations
that
to
looks
him.
true, but that one almost doesn't even look real.
Oh, that would be real.
But that's like a 15-inch dick.
He's 6'4" too. Yeah. He's
right,
big
but
enough.
how big is that dick?
Big enough.
But that's about 15 inches, right? And thick around like a baby's arm. That's
Time
like
to break the internet again.
that's a 2-year-old's arm.
Does he pay your bills? Hashtag it ain't tricking. Hashtag real ninja shit. Does he take care of your kids? Does he lick it from the front to the back? Has he slid under that pussy like Mecca Nick and tuned it up with his tongue?
Run her baths until the water is warm as a Miami morning in the spring. Okay.
4 women.
He's high.
Now handle your business.
He's high with a giant dick.
He's hilarious. That's fucking funny to me. I got to get his phone number and hang out with him. Hey, let me buy you a drink, dicks.
He'd probably show you his dick too,
No.
just to make you feel bad. Hey, Brian,
thanks.
before you go,
That's
whoop.
okay. I always say that to guys. There are dudes like the problem with giant dudes who do jiu-jitsu and stuff, or it's like they could fuck you. Then that's
They
beat
could.
you up. Could Brendan beat me up?
And then what
He
if they're
could fuck
fucking you with a dick that's tattooed like an anaconda? That's what I'm getting at. Does anybody have that?
Let's take a look.
Surely there's got to be a guy who's tattooed his dick like anaconda.
Of course.
100%. But I'm shocked that I haven't seen this.
I'm outraged.
This seems like something that I would have a long time. If I can think of it in 2019, surely it's
Of
been
course.
done hundreds and hundreds of
course,
times. Yeah.
yes.
There's no way, right?
There's a Vice article about everything you wanted to know about penis tattoos, and it talks about a guy has 14 stripes to make it look like a snake.
That's cool.
Let me see.
He doesn't have a
See,
picture in the article.
let me
and-
tell you what this is.
This is how I go to see
I know.
dicks. It's for science.
Let me see it. Let me just see
I don't
it.
care really about dicks, but I just want to make sure this is true and you're not lying.
I will bring up this and hit images, and
ladies
then you
and
can
gentlemen, there you go.
hit it.
whatever you
Bam.
want to see there.
Well,
I'm not-
those are just tattoos of
know.
dicks.
Here's the problem.
Oh, that's the dragon, the far right. Look
Yeah,
at that one.
Here's the problem.
See that far right
Yes,
dragon?
This is dudes.
That I've seen before.
This is people
That's impressive.
negotiating the problem of individuality with accoutrement.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Or they just like dragons.
It's just like
And they wish their dick was a dragon. That's possible too.
well,
That's a
guys,
girl, bro.
I know, well.
You don't even know the difference between a boy and a girl.
Hey, I didn't.
The fuck? What's
make
that one in the
Google
middle?
search.
What's that one in the middle there? On the right hand side in the middle? That right there. Bang. What's happening there?
Oh, well, that's an
Jesus.
issue, huh?
And a dragon.
Plus, he's
Dude.
got a bolt. That's the same guy, man.
God
he just
damn.
got more work done on the thighs.
Right in that fucking head, huh? You just nailed your dick down.
Yeah, why does he have a bolt through the head of his kick?
Fuck is going on?
What is
man?
that guy doing
He's
there?
rolling his dick like dough.
Yeah, he's got his
think
dick
that's
in a
how they
rolling
tattoo
pin.
it.
That's how they tattoo it? Oh, just stop. I'm done.
Oh, that's how they do it.
They have to flatten it out with a rolling pin. What the fuck, man?
I'll do it for attention. What should I get on my dick? If you had to get a tattoo on your dick, you have 10 seconds. 10.
Hello,
9,
Kitty.
8. That's very good.
I want girls to go
Very
down there and go,
fucking good.
what the
Hello,
fuck?
Kitty.
Imagine, hey, honey, I got a new thing.
Yep.
Pull your dick out. Your wife sees Hello Kitty on your cock. You're like, what? What?
God. That's funny.
Would you get like a little star under your cheek?
Yeah.
A little tiny one? A little
Yeah.
tiny star?
Now, I want a teardrop, but I got to kill somebody.
You got to kill
first.
somebody to get a teardrop, though. A star, you just have to be cool.
A little star.
Yeah. Just like, you think different. You know?
52.
Yeah. Why not?
God damn, just to change things
Well,
up.
Stallone, I think, got sleeved. He got half sleeved
Sure
when he was
did.
in his 60s.
Sure did.
Yeah, just decided.
He's
fuck
my
it.
canary in the coal mine.
Like, yeah, that's my canary in the coal mine. Just can't steal him. Oh.
You can't steal him.
Yeah, he got full shoulders, chest, all that shit done. Look at that. Hold me down my back.
It's impressive.
Jacked. See, get a picture of him. That's it. That's from that movie. That picture. Go back. Go back to the one you just had. Oh, did it do that to you? That one. That's when he was doing that movie.
Jesus
Bullet in the
Christ.
head. Yeah, he got super lean, man.
Yeah, man.
He got down to like 100. It looks like he's like 170 pounds or
Yeah.
something like that.
God, disciplined dude.
Yeah, ridiculously disciplined.
It takes crazy
And
work.
150 years old. And still doing action movies.
Yep.
Still fucking people up. And you're like, oh, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I'm buying it.
Yep.
In the Expendables, he's throwing people against the walls like, I'm buying it.
Yep.
Yo!
He's got big hands, big bones.
He's a big guy.
He's got Joe Rogan hands. You have thick.
He's
you have,
Italian.
You have mitts.
Just like me!
Italian. Why is your last name Rogan, though? You have just a little
Because
Irish
my
in you.
grandfather on my father's side is half Irish. Well, he was Irish. Like my father's half Irish.
Yeah.
So my father's mom was a full Italian, and his dad was full Irish.
So you're a quarter Irish. I'm half Irish, half Italian.
He's getting his back done here.
Look at this.
Ugh.
Look at this. Look at
The
the shape
guy
that
who's-
motherfucker's in. Come
He's
on.
in great shape. Plus, he might be holding his stomach in right there for the picture. But the guy behind him that's tattooing him has got. Does he got some?
That's Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke. Oh, that's that movie. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Is that what that is?
No. That's an old movie.
What movie is this from?
This is some new movie.
Oh, it's another movie.
Could be Expendables scene or something.
Mickey Rourke is an eccentric
think it is.
character. He's the kind of guy that would come over your house with like a full Indian jacket on with like the tassels.
He's my favorite
like
actor of all time.
buckskin, and like he would have buckskin pants on and like legit cowboy boots, and you couldn't say nothing.
Nothing.
And a big turquoise belt buckle and no shirt.
Yeah.
No shirt.
When he was younger, my favorite actor of all time.
And what
I
are those-
fucking loved him.
What are those ties called? This is just a string.
Yeah, the Western ties.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? What is that fucking thing?
Yeah.
That's a fake tie. That's what that is.
That's whatever he wants. And
That's not a tie.
And carry around 2 small dogs in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a gun.
Maybe a gun, maybe a bow around his
Maybe a
neck.
gun.
Whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe walks through your house with a knife in his teeth.
Yeah.
You're like, what's going on with Mickey? Shh.
Just Mickey.
Leave him.
That's just
Just
Mickey.
leave him alone. Just leave him.
That's regular Mickey.
Yeah. The world of actors, my friend. They are out there.
He was abused by his stepdad really badly.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He
Ooh.
a great interview with Alec Baldwin on Baldwin's podcast called Here's the Thing. It was very heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking. He was abused by his stepfather was a cop and a brutal son of a bitch, and really abused those 2 boys.
Ugh.
His brother, Mickey's brother, died in his arms.
Oh.
A drug addict because of his father. He blamed his father, his stepfather.
Oof.
Then he saw his father he'd never seen, and he's so heartbreaking to tell the story. And he saw his father in New York. Father's coming out of a bar. His father goes, and Nicky was standing there, and he goes, "I'm your son." And his father goes, "I thought I'd run into you one day." And then his father died a week later of alcoholism.
Ooh.
Yeah. See,
So
we don't
you
pick.
ran into him as a grown man?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It tells you everything about someone, you know. Your
Mm.
heart's broken at a young age.
Well, almost everyone that's fucked up in this life is fucked up because of something that someone did to them,
Yep.
whether it's a relative or abuse that they suffered
Yep.
or, things throughout their life that have gone horribly wrong, especially for children. The big one, I mean, that's the most formative time of your life, right? When you meet people that were abused as children, everyone like universally feels for them. You're like, oh no.
When you have children, especially.
Oh, for sure.
You realize what a catastrophe and an impossible
Yeah.
thing to deal with. That's so terrible To me, it's the special evil, you know?
It is. Abusing children. I mean, you're ruining not just a moment, but the full potential of a child's life. They're never going to escape the fact that that was done to them, that someone used them.
This child psychologist, I was talking to her, and I said, give me some advice with my children. You know what she said to me? She goes, just don't leave. Just be in their life.
That's big.
And I was like,
That's true, right? Because when your dad's not there, or your mom's not there, or someone's not there, there's this like feeling of like displacement. Everything's wrong.
the world's...
And then on top of that, when these kids get abused, it's like, oh my God, you've compounded horror on top of sadness and loneliness.
Horror on top of it, yeah.
And it's also, this is the really fucked up thing, is it repeats itself. Like, they say that people that are molested when they're children are much more likely to molest children, which is like insane. It's like the thing that happened to you, the abuse that happened to you. It's almost like you want to put it on someone else.
The fact that so many kids grow up in single-parent households in this country is the problem. That's the problem.
That's a giant
You can
problem.
talk about racism, you talk everything else. You grew up without a father, you grew up in a single-parent household, that's abuse.
That
in a
is,
lot of ways.
well,
And
that's
men
one
who have
problem,
children, men
though.
who have children and walk out on those kids, those are the people I have no time for. I
Yeah.
hate them. I don't give a fuck what your excuse is. If
Yeah.
you have, I would make it a law. Like I would make it very uncomfortable for you.
But that's just one kind of abuse. There's also abuse by your actual biological parents. There's
Sure.
abuse by other biological relatives. There's
Yeah.
there's people that
There's
have
abuse by stepfathers that come in. That's
abuse
a very
by
dangerous
brothers and
situation.
sisters.
Yeah.
There's abuse by neighbors. There's abuse, man. But it's all boils down to the same thing. It's like what happens during your developmental period when you're a really young person to becoming an adult, and if someone's abusing you and fucking you over, that just ruins most people's lives. Most people don't bounce back from that. You know, and then you get caught up in this spiral of this cycle of crime and violence and prison and abuse, and
You're done. You're done.
I wonder how long it's going to take before the human race eradicates that. Because I think if you look at like Pinker's work and some other people that studied violence and abuse and all the various things that we love least about civilization, those markers are going down sort of across the board,
Yes.
whether it's violent crime or rape. Those markers are slowly going down. Like, how long does it take before there's none of that anymore?
Part of it's they say what crippled the mafia was just the fact there are cameras everywhere. You can't just drop bodies all the time because you don't know. Everybody's got a fucking ring. The cops just go, can we take a look at your ring footage?
Right.
And you know, you got to make a getaway somewhere. You're always on camera.
Yeah.
You're always on camera. And they can do this. They can just follow the dots.
Well, Snowden just posted something that I retweeted it. See if you can find that, Jamie, about China, and the citizens are sort of revolting against this constant surveillance state that's overtaken China. And
Yeah.
he was saying, over the next 10 years, this is what's going to be America. Absent sweeping reform, this is the whole world in 10 years. Remember, both parties in the U.S. defend mass surveillance programs. China's advantage here is not technological, but that there's no strong civil opposition to slow the descent into nightmare. So China is not, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. China is not able to slow it. They're just slowly descending into the surveillance state.
This is the biggest one of the
Click
biggest.
on that.
That's why not trusting your fucking leaders is very important. We were lied to in Afghanistan for 18 years by senior U.S. officials.
The authorities can scan your phone, track your face, and find out when you leave your home. One of the world's biggest spying networks is aimed at regular people, and no one can stop it.
Yeah.
And this is in China.
Yeah, all in the name of security. There's never been a regime, a government that didn't use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
So the Nazis Hitler, when he became chancellor, took away all civil liberties because in the name of protecting the fatherland from
Right.
Essentially terrorism, because a communist lit the Reichstag on fire.
Well, what's interesting is how long is it going to take before some version of this makes it over here? Because it seems inevitable.
It's coming, but you have to fight it tooth and fucking nail. Americans should always be distrustful of their authority figures. I don't give a fuck how much you like Trump or anybody else. You should hold your leaders accountable, and you should always have a healthy distrust.
Well, not
we
only
were
that.
lied to for 18 years about how the war was going in Afghanistan. We spent over $1 trillion on that fucking war over the past, how long has it been? Since 2003? Good. And we were trying to turn it into a modern nation. Senior U.S. officials, whether intelligence, military, and everybody else, they knew this was an unwinnable war. I know too many people who spent 10 years over there. They all knew it too. And somehow that just never made it out. And every general kept saying, we're at a turning point in the war where we're going to defeat the Taliban. No, you weren't, and you know the difference. And you knew that at the time. And I understand that there's a lot of pressure and everything else, but we spent all that money for fucking what? And a lot of Americans got injured and fucking killed for it. And we were lied to.
I know, but this is what's interesting about what you're saying. This is the argument for something like this in the first place. That if you had mass surveillance everywhere, people wouldn't be able to plan terrorist attacks.
Oh, fuck that. That's what we always use that as an excuse.
I know, but that's what that's how they would implement something like that.
And
if they could get something like that implemented in Afghanistan and put a giant kibosh on the amount of terrorist activities.
Yeah, right. Good luck.
I know. I would say good luck
study
too. But
history,
I mean, that's
study
what
history
they would
to see how that turns out. That's why studying history is.
See, the thing is, this kind of tool has never existed. Like, you could study history all day long,
but governments
it's only going to prepare you sort of peripherally. It's not really going to prepare you for what technology can do today. There's nothing in history that can really tell you where this goes.
I agree with you, but politicians use the same exact language they've been using forever, which is we have to protect the public from these insurgents, this danger.
Here's the solution to that. Here's the solution to that. Eventually, there's no more government. Here's the solution to that. What this is doing, it's making it almost impossible to have a traditional government, right? Because if this stuff starts making it into then we can find out what they're doing all the time. So what if it turns out, well, we'll let you mass surveillance on that, but we want 24/7 access to anyone who is any sort of representative, anyone who's a congressman, anyone who's a senator, anyone who's a president. We want 24/7 access to everything you say and do. We want to know. We want to know who you are. No more backs.
My problem with that is that then you wouldn't have the best people getting in the government.
You don't have the best people now.
That's true. But
it's gone. It's over.
You're already dealing with that as a politician and stuff. I don't know if that's the answer.
I'm not saying it's the answer, Bryan Callen. I'm just saying imagine.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's a terrible idea. But imagine if this is what the world becomes. Everyone has access to everyone's life.
See, the way I believe it is if you want to learn about somebody as a government agency, you got major firewalls and you need warrants and make it fucking difficult.
Right,
That's what
but
I think.
The reason why a country like the United States goes to war with a country like Afghanistan or against or ISIS is because you have leaders and groups. Yeah. Once there's no leaders and once there's no groups and everybody can see everything that everybody's doing. Then you have no more need for government.
Somebody's got to, but all societies are
management of resources.
No, but you also have to have somebody in a society has to have the monopoly on violence.
Well, maybe.
You understand what I'm saying?
Or all the resources get distributed evenly. All natural resources,
you fucking communist.
All natural resources on Earth are owned by the human beings that inhabit the earth, not the human beings that live on that one particular spot.
Impossible.
So all the Saudi trillionaires and all those dudes who are making fracking money, that's our money, bitch. It's our earth. Impossible. You're stealing the fucking essence of the earth and selling it back to the people. How dare you?
Karl Marx right here, man.
No, I'm just saying.
This is the problem, Jamie.
Imagine
you bring me in
just
this podcast.
That, but all the other things you could sell. You could sell cars, you could sell this, you could sell that, you could make buildings. I'm not stopping capitalism, but I'm saying is all natural resources. All of them belong to the conquerors of the earth, which is us, the human beings.
Dude, you just solved a lot of problems right now.
All of it. So no trillionaire oil barons, no dependence on fossil fuels, because fossil fuels are great, but if no one in particular is profiting entirely off fossil fuels, because the money has to be distributed evenly to everyone. The same with solar, same with anything that's a resource, any natural resources.
Yeah. But you need
minerals.
You need the technology to harness that stuff.
You can sell that. You can sell that. But what you can't sell is oil.
Well, oil's sold on the open market.
Not anymore. Not when I'm president.
What the fuck, dude?
So oil's everybody.
Are you gonna run?
We're stealing it. We'll nuke the world. If they don't give us the oil, just listen. Let's start fresh with amoebas. This is not going
Dude,
well.
let
We
me
need
be
to
your
restart.
vice president. You
Okay.
run.
I like it.
You run.
Okay.
And then what's our platform? What's our
How do
slogan?
we fix the tuna in the sea?
What's our slogan?
How do we grow more tuna?
Lead-free tuna, you fucks.
Yeah, no more dinner theater. Everybody that works in dinner theater now makes tuna. You work in a tuna plant where you make tunas fuck
I
each
feel
other.
like this is-
so we have more tuna because we're running out of tuna.
You force a breeding program?
Yes. And you're gonna have to filter the ocean.
You're a terrible president.
I'm a great president. We fucked up the ocean. There's all this heavy metals and poison in there. We need a filter for the ocean, sort of like the filter that you have at your house.
Yeah.
That filters the tap water.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need one of those for the ocean.
Jesus.
Problem solved.
It's going to be expensive as shit, dude.
Not really.
All right.
Not when you get rid of music, dinner theater, all musicals.
Oh,
must
you use the
stop.
money.
Yeah.
I got you.
And make those people go to work in a real job.
Damn.
Yeah, all those people that think that musicals are what people want to see.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Really?
Fuck you. Go.
But
go
I
make
like
tuna.
musicals.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Remember that time we got really high, and we went to see one of your professors, one of your acting professors,
The greatest.
sing
Yes.
musicals.
Yes, I do.
That was a wonderful night.
I love that kind of stuff.
We were so high I couldn't walk fast.
No, me neither.
I had to be real. I knew how to walk, but I wasn't totally sure I could keep doing it.
I never smoke weed, but when I do, it's you. It's like I got high one time. I was with Patty Jenkins. We were in fucking Atlantic City, and we'd been swimming, and I smoked weed, and I was not a weed smoker, and
You swam in the water,
I
the ocean of Atlantic
yeah,
City.
Fuck yeah, at night,
Dude, you're dangerous.
Huge waves. We lost the car keys, and we're looking everywhere, dude, everywhere. And 2 hours later, I sit down on the curb because I'm just tired. It's just too much. Patty looks at me and she goes, "Bryan," yeah. She goes, "Open your hand, please."
And it's in your hand.
Of course it was. How was
Oh my god! I've had my sunglasses on top of my hat and looked for them for 10 minutes before.
I was looking for my phone the other day. I'm with my son, and I'm looking for my phone, and I'm like, where the fuck is my phone? Where the fuck is it? He's next to me on my phone playing a game.
Oh,
Right next to me. And it
snatch
didn't
your
dawn.
phone up.
Yeah.
Those kids love those goddamn
I'm the one who
phone
downloaded
games.
the game for him.
Oh, you forgot?
Yeah.
You're getting old.
Yeah.
You need that TRT to read.
He was playing a sniper game, and I said, "You're not allowed to play that shit at all." And then I saw how cool it was, and I ended up playing it.
Whoa! Do you try to keep him from violent games?
I do, but it's like telling a tree not to blow in the wind.
It's interesting. Dakota Meyer, who's decorated veteran, and
Medal of Honor winner,
yes,
right? Wow.
one of the very few to ever win it while
Alive,
Yeah. He thinks that video games and violent video games desensitize people. Now, when someone like that, who's open with his struggles with PTSD, he killed a man with a rock. Okay, tell me the story about he was in a fist fight with a guy, in war with the enemy, and picked up a rock and beat his brains in.
Jesus.
If this guy is telling you that video games can desensitize you, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm gonna listen to him.
I am too.
He's, he understands.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
You certainly get very good at these kids who have the guns.
But it also, for some people that don't have any tendency towards violence, like you or me or Jamie or anybody else that we know that's fine and healthy, they're not going to make you more likely to go shoot people. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, are you saying that you playing Red Dead Redemption is going to make you want to go out and fucking shoot people? No, it's not going to. It's not going to have any effect on you at all. But will it have an effect on minors?
I think there are a couple of things going on. One is I think they're addictive.
Oh yeah,
and I've seen that with my own eyes with my children. They're addictive, and when you take the game away, they exhibit withdrawal. They freak the fuck out.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah,
one more game.
Yeah, they
Jesus,
get crazy.
Dad.
They stomp the ground.
Fuck.
I know.
Yeah,
and then also, I think when you play video games, you can get so addicted that you will isolate, and you'll play those games all day.
Oh, there's a lot of kids doing that.
Yeah, what's that do to your social interaction? What's that do to your body? Should you be doing a sport? What's that do to you later on? Can you get a girl when you've been sitting in front of it? There are lots of things that we don't know. I mean, do they lend... Do video games, when you play them on that level, do they retard your social skills and your, I mean, there's a lot of considerations. I don't think.
Well, I'm also in favor of you doing anything you want. If there's some people that would make the same argument about someone who's addicted to reading.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that are in their head just reading novels.
Then they
all
were.
day. Yeah.
But those arguments were used
yeah.
against before video games.
You just don't hear it anymore because you just hear the more accelerated version. What it is basically an engaging human creation.
Yeah.
An engaging human creation that's designed to captivate your attention, whether it's a novel or a film or anything.
Yeah.
Like things are designed. That's what art is in a lot of ways. When you go to an art gallery and you stare at someone's work, it's like some human creation that captivates your attention and gets you locked in. And when you see a really beautiful piece, like we were in Italy and we were in Florence and we went to this ancient church and they had these beautiful works of art on the wall.
Yeah.
Just fascinating stuff. And you try to picture like the people that painted this 1,000 years ago and what life was like, and you're looking at the intricacies of these dresses. Like that's an engaging human creation that captivates your attention. We have merit in that kind of engaging, captivated piece of art. We have put merit in that, but we don't put merit in video games for some reason.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's too engaging. It's too much. It's too captivating.
That's an interesting question. Why not,
Because we know it's detrimental. We inherently know that you're going to waste giant chunks of your life. Unless you're someone who like got a trust fund, you never have to work again, you got fucking $10 million in the bank and you could just chill forever and you want to play video games all day. I'm like, all right, like I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to work.
Yeah, but what is it? Something like Picasso's Guernica, or that painting of when Spain was bombed by the Luftwaffe before World War II, and to bring that up because it's a kind of a haunting painting. But why is that still something that's considered a masterpiece? And then, like you said, there's like these incredible imagery and what we can do with an iPad.
Well, it's all the same thing in some way. It's a human creation. But the thing about these digital human creations is they have this alien, like cold feel to them. Like there's something about digital things, even if they're spectacular, like there's no emotion in this thing. This thing is a creation. It's a 1 and a 0. It's computer.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're just reading novels all day, like if you're that person that just fuck the world, I'm gonna go in my house, I'm gonna shut the door, I'm gonna light a candle, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna read novels all day. I have $10 million in the bank that I got from my trust fund. I just like reading.
Yeah.
No one would say you're a loser. Like what does Bryan do? He's amazing. He got his trust fund and then said, I want to educate myself. I just want to read. And he just reads all the great works. And he sits at home all day and just reads. It's amazing.
But that is somehow more intriguing because what you're doing is developing and expanding your understanding.
In some ways,
and I think when you do that, what that means is you're someone who is worth speaking to. You might have some secrets and some understanding that I can use. So when you talk to somebody who's really gone down that rabbit hole, like Joseph Campbell, who read all the philosophers and everybody who influenced them, you want to hear what he has to say because he's organized his brain and his thoughts in a way that might shed some light on the things that are confusing to you. That are depressing or that are scaring you or whatever. And you do need leaders like that, leaders of thought that can put things into perspective, that can kind of tell you why there's a difference between, say, Picasso and this other shitty artist. I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But you also need people that know how to play the fuck out of a video game. The thing is, those people don't get any credit. When you see these kids today that are winning these video game tournaments and winning $1 million, and their parents have told them to not play games. Meanwhile, the dad works at fucking IHOP. Like, hey, asshole. These guys are making real money playing this stupid game that you told them to never play.
And they're filling like arenas.
Arenas.
It's fucking crazy.
This is where the world goes. The world goes to the most engaging creation that human beings have that locks in other people's attention. And the most engaging creations for young people are these goddamn video games.
Yeah.
They're just group efforts. They're giant group corporate efforts, whether it's, Grand Theft Auto or the new Doom. When's that new Doom coming out?
3 months.
But I feel like Doom, but I do think there's a difference. I do think that when you're really good at a video game, there is an addictive quality to it. Yes, you're really good at doing this thing, right? But at the end of the day, it's a game.
Right.
And that game is somewhat masturbatory. That game, I don't know that when you really get good at Fortnite or Doom, I don't know if that game in any way expands your understanding or your ability to contribute to the larger conversation.
Okay, but does snooker?
I'm just saying.
Does snooker?
So is that the strategy game?
No. How dare you?
What is it?
It's chess.
What?
About chess.
Chess is a good one. But
chess is
no,
different
there's a
'cause-
reason why I said snooker.
Yeah.
The reason why I said snooker is because you're executing. You're actually doing. You have to keep it together, and you have to physically execute a move. It's a giant pool table that they play it in England, and they play with red balls and blue balls and pink balls and black balls. And I don't understand the game. I've watched it a bunch.
Yeah.
But there's these people that play it, and it's less popular now. One of the big time guys got busted.
Yeah.
He got busted doing a fixed game. Like someone paid him off to lose, and he agreed to do it for a certain amount of money. But the thing is that a game like that is well respected because someone has to execute. It's not just thinking. You have to actually pull off the shot. Yes.
It's a skill.
Yes.
And also people love to watch it who play snooker.
Yeah.
Probably not me, but people know the difference, right?
A video game, you have to execute as well. But it doesn't seem like you're doing it because you're not physically, you're just moving your hands around and moving a keyboard, and it doesn't seem like it's as skillful, but it is.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. You're asking a really interesting question, right?
Yeah.
Like, so because what they are doing is they're providing entertainment for people, just like a great pool player, right?
Right.
So when you watch pool, you're doing it for stakes, you're doing it for money, but you're also watching these people who have mastered this insane geometry.
Well, we respect some versions of that, like golf.
Yeah.
We respect golf.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
watch
we
someone,
play it.
and also the money that's available. That's why we don't respect bowling.
Yeah.
Like someone's a good bowler, you're like, congratulations, you pat him on the head. Good for you. Good for you. Nobody cares. But if you're fucking one of the best golf players of all time, that golfer is going to make millions and millions of dollars a year. Like that guy is a baller. He's a golfer, and he's at the top of the food chain when it comes to...
Any of those skills require you to master yourself in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure. But the thing is that the video games, it seems like it's happening in a digital realm. And because of that, it's not taken as seriously. Even if you found out they made more money. Like when you find out someone's a successful video game player, there's a certain part of you like, oh, why are you wasting your time with that? Even if you go, he makes $5 million a year, you're like, oh, well, good for him.
Yeah.
Seems weird.
Yes.
Right? There's like a weird, it's still not good. You know what it
is for us who are older? It's subversive.
Yes.
That for guys at our age, it's subversive. We don't trust it, we don't like it, we don't understand it, and it scares us a little bit because it also reminds us of our own mortality.
We're also brainwashed to thinking the video games are for losers.
All of that. So we have a stereotypical idea of what a video game player is. All that stuff. So for older people, I feel left out. I don't understand it, and I feel like they're being bad, and they should listen to me.
Whereas chess is noble.
Well, chess is
someone playing chess. That's noble.
Special.
Yeah,
game.
you find out someone who's really good at chess. You're like, fuck, that guy's impressive.
They can think deeply.
If a girl could
strategically
beat your ass at chess, I dated a girl once. She was really good at chess. It was humiliating. Shut me down.
Well, jiu-jitsu is a form of kinetic chess, probably.
Sort of.
You can make that argument. I mean,
yeah, but force and there's mass.
There's all that, but there's also leverage. There's also understanding when to use your energy, when not to, when to be relaxed, when to be strong.
It's more complicated even than chess.
Probably. I don't know.
I think it's more complicated.
I'm not good at either one, but
Yeah.
Yes.
But there is an understanding of the moves, and then when someone's countering, and the understanding of the counter, and then the counter to the counter, and this like constant thing. That's like Hicks and Gracie. One of the things he always used to say about people is they can't keep the rhythm. He'd be like, he would put a rhythm on people. He'd just make you attack and you counter, attack and you counter, attack and you counter. But I know what your counter is, so I'm preparing for your counter, so I'm moving. And he does it so often that he keeps this rhythm up until you don't know what. You can't just explode all the time. You don't know the moves.
It was that boxer who was fighting Duran. You hear him in the corner. I can't remember what the fight was. He goes, he's reading my mind. He's reading my fucking mind. Well, Duran knew the patterns so well that he was like, I know what he's doing here.
Yeah.
I know what he's going to do. So he would cut him off. And he'd be like, the guy's fucking catching me every time I try to work on our game plan.
That's what boxing is, right? Yeah. Boxing is like understanding the patterns of someone throwing a left or a right, moving their head side to side, moving forward, moving back, moving side to side. You get these patterns. These are the only things you can do. You can only move back and forth, side to side, or you can move left to right, or you can throw with your left hand, or you can throw with your right hand, all the variables with different kinds of punches you can throw. But you get a guy like Terrence Crawford in front of you, he's seen all those, and so he starts setting you up to see, like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Like, where are you doing? Where am I going to? There's a beautiful combination that he used to knock out that cat the other night. He fought some very rugged dude. Who's the guy Crawford fought this weekend?
I want to see him.
I only
fight
saw the
Earl
highlights
Spence.
of it because it was, I guess it was on ESPN. Here it is.
Let
Like,
me see. I want
watch
to see him.
this.
I want to see him fight Earl Spence so badly.
oh yeah, it'd be phenomenal.
That's the fight.
But the
Oh, Jesus.
the end of the fight, man, he just
Oh,
did some
oh my God.
beautiful creative shit. He's amazing, man. He really is
Oh,
amazing.
took some shots.
Oh, dude, he for real. The guy's very good, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Now watch that. He dropped him there. Now watch the final
Oh,
combination.
no.
Look at this. Watch this step back. Look at this step back. Bang. How beautiful is that? That step back and then that uppercut. That's like recognizing patterns.
Yeah,
And then he stepped in and hooked him in the
He
head and
changes
dropped him.
shit up, too, all the time.
He's brilliant.
God.
Brilliant. He's there's guys that hit this level, right? When you watch boxing or any combat sport, really, there's this guy that hit this level, and you're like, oh, they're in that fucking super champion zone.
Yes.
And that's where Crawford is.
That's why he needs to fight Earl Spence.
Yes, that's where Lomachenko is. How is Earl Spence alive and not injured?
I don't know, because he's Superman.
That video of him flipping
It's
that
the craziest shit in the
Ferrari
world.
and watching it fly over him and he doesn't get crushed.
No.
What are the odds that he
Full-
makes it out of there without a scratch?
And thank God, because that aficionado, that work of art needs to be preserved.
You sound gay as fuck
I
right
don't
there.
care.
It's fine.
Little gay for
I'm
him.
all about people that are gay as fuck.
Little gay
but
for
you
him.
did sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a beast, man. The way he shut down Mikey Garcia, I was like, woo.
God.
He's
Hits
fucking
too hard.
for
But
real.
hey, I'll
He's
tell you what,
big.
Sean Porter gave him the what for.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Porter was, that's where you realize Sean Porter, a 7-time world champion, that's where you're
I
like,
love
oh
the way
my
you
God.
talk. Gave him the what for.
Gave him the what
I
for.
love that flavor that you
Yeah,
put.
that's what I
when you
say
describe
sometimes.
Things.
I say things like this. I go, I'm going to keep him busy. I'll give him the what for.
Give him the
Ask
what
me what would
for.
happen if Jamie came at me right now.
You sound like an actor.
Go ahead and ask me.
What would happen if Jamie came at you?
Meet him halfway.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
Now,
scary.
Ask me what happened if
I don't
Jamie.
like it.
And Jamie's a big athletic
uncomfortable
guy.
for Jamie.
Well, he's an
What
athletic
would
kid.
happen if Joe came at you?
Come back with what I got.
Oh, really?
See that? Now watch
You know,
this.
Jamie broke his butt bone out here on one of them scooters.
no.
Yeah.
no.
He was trying to figure out what his injury was forever until Zach Bitter explained how he broke his butt bone. And Jamie's like, that's the exact same problem I've been having. And it happened from him on those fucking, the hoverboard thing. Whoop.
Oh no.
Fell on the concrete.
Ow.
Right out here. Broke his butt.
Yeah, well, maybe, for sure. Undiagnosed broken
Most
butt. but
likely
most
broken
likely,
butt.
You broke your butt.
It's
It's fixed
exactly
now,
the same
but-
spot. And it's where he landed. He landed on his butt. Right,
Hey
and that's-
Jamie,
Yes.
ask me if I ever killed a man.
Did you ever kill him, man?
Never stopped to look, brother.
Are you in the new Mickey Rourke movie?
Dude, man, how about,
What's
how
your
about
name?
me as a fucking action hero?
Your
What's
name
my
would be
name?
Anaconda.
Blade.
No, Anaconda.
Huh?
Yeah,
Anaconda's
you're
good.
You're like a bag of ropes.
No,
a bag of
fucking
snakes.
Anna.
Anna.
And I
No,
hate it.
no.
I'd be
Anna's
like,
a girl.
No, because they go, his name is Anna. And they go, Conda, you ever roll with him?
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
a boy named Sue. Like people
Yes.
start fights with you.
One of my favorite songs.
That's a great song.
The meanest thing that he ever did was he went ahead and named me Sue.
That's a great fucking
One of the greatest
great
songs.
song.
That's my favorite Johnny Cash song.
Johnny Cash was.
Well, my daddy left home
goddamn
when I was
original.
3. He didn't leave much for mom, me, just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Wow,
That's
fucking
beautiful.
great movie. Oh.
Bryan Callen, it's almost 4 p.m. We've
love you,
done
buddy.
3 hours.
Time
of
goes by,
talking
bro.
shit. It does. We got to do this more often. We always say this, but we did it.
Come see me at the
We
Wilbur.
made it happen.
New Year's Eve.
Wait a minute. You at the Wilbur Theater in Boston on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, man.
For do stand-up comedy?
Fuck yeah.
Don't you have a new hour?
I got a whole new
Wait a
hour.
minute, you have a whole new hour
Yeah.
that'll be at the Wilbur Theater in New Year's Eve.
And if you're
the
in
day
Arizona
before that,
tomorrow,
the Celebrity Theater.
I'm in Arizona tomorrow at the Celebrity Theater.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow with Frank Caliendo and Adam
So
Ray.
tomorrow you're at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And that what day is that?
That's tomorrow on Saturday.
Saturday. What day is this coming out? Is it coming out today?
So it'll be the
Yeah.
21st. 21st.
The 21st. The
All right,
21st.
well, the 31st.
Of December.
The 31st. I'm at Wilbur at the fucking
10 days later.
Get your fucking tickets.
10 days later, New Year's Eve, 31st.
That's when I'm- is
in
that when New
Boston.
Year's Eve is?
It's cold as fuck on New Year's Eve in Boston.
I
son.
panicked. It was so cold, my face hurt. I had to run into a store.
It gets
I
cold.
tried to walk a half mile to coffee.
All right.
God bless you.
God bless you. Bryan Callen, ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday night. Friday night or Saturday? Saturday night. Saturday night,
yeah.
Celebrity
Celebrity
Tonight
theater.
is Friday. You're not going there tonight.
No, tomorrow night.
I'll be like, you're
tomorrow
a gangster.
Night.
It's
Saturday
4
night.
o'clock.
Saturday night Celebrity Theater and
Saturday night Celebrity Theater. And bye, everybody.